Chapter 350. When Tang Jing returned to school, his roommates were already waiting for him. The three of them looked rather excited, and Tang Jing asked curiously, "What is the background of this Muay Thai expert?" Sinosaurus said as if he was presenting a treasure, "I just checked online. This person is called Sampa. He is the #1 expert in Thailand. He debuted in his teens. He is invincible. He is the champion of all kinds of boxing competitions. It is said that he often goes to the underground boxing ring to fight and refine his martial arts. He is very powerful. He can kick a tree as thick as a bowl with one leg." Zhou Yin sighed. Muay Thai is a powerful leg technique. This person's legs are like steel and iron bones. They are invincible. So what? I feel that this Sampa is not a match for OL3. Wang Shiji said in a nutshell. Sinosaurus laughed out loud. Of course, who is OL3? He is the #1 fierce person in our archaeology department, the #1 person in Muay Thai. You will still beat him down. And then? Tang Jing asked. After that, it became even more exciting. The Martial Arts Association invited a true expert and ignored them. Ever since this Sampa jumped out, the experts of the other countries also responded one after another, saying that you have to participate before they can participate. This has caused the officials of the Martial Arts Association to worry. Sinosaurus said gloatingly. What countermeasures do they have? What else can there be? Countermeasures? Just drag it out. In any case, there is no reply yet. I don't know what decision they will make in the end. Zhou Yin said disdainfully. Let's see how long they can drag it out. They can't possibly keep covering their ears and pretending to be cowards. Wang Shiji said. Ding-ling-ling. The phone rang again, but this time it was the reporter. His voice was even more excited as he explained the situation to Tang Jing. In the end, he said indignantly, those people from the Martial Arts Association are too despicable. They just issued a statement saying that your kung fu is a lie and that they will definitely not invite you to the martial arts conference. The Muay Thai expert, Sampa, has already issued a challenge, yet they still say that your kung fu is not practical and that you are a liar. I think they have ulterior motives. They don't want to revitalize Wuxia's martial arts. Tang Jing's heart skipped a beat. He asked, since the other party has come to challenge us, will it be of any use if we continue to deceive ourselves like this? Don't you know what they're thinking? No matter if you win or lose, they will lose face, so they might as well not let you participate at all. This way they can rest easy. The reporter exposed the sinister intentions of the Martial Arts Association. They don't care about the responsibility of revitalizing Wuxia's martial arts. They only care about their own interests. If I accept the challenge, what should I do? Tang Jing asked in a deep voice. The reporter was shocked and quickly asked, You accept the challenge? Are you confident in winning? That Sampa is not simple. Tang Jing smiled faintly and asked, Do you think I can win? Of course I believe in you. I believe in Wuxia's martial arts. The reporter said confidently. That's enough. Just tell me how to accept the challenge. Only then can we push this matter to the highest level of public opinion. Tang Jing asked. With the arrival of the Martial Arts Association in Beijing, it was impossible for Tang Jing to keep a low profile. Thus, he simply used this martial arts convention to express his presence to the world. Moreover, this martial arts convention could more effectively link his identity with a martial artist and not a cultivator. Hearing this, the reporter pondered for a while and said, If we want to push this matter to the highest level of public opinion, then we need to publicize it in all directions. If you are not worried, our newspaper can issue a letter of acceptance on your behalf. If the Martial Arts Association is willing to be a coward, then we will do it ourselves. Then I'll leave this matter to you. Don't worry, I will definitely do this matter well. I believe that this will be the most important thing in my career as a reporter. The reporter was extremely excited. Tang Jing's statement was published on the internet on the same day, and the print media also followed up. Every newspaper and magazine reprinted Tang Jing's statement, accepting the challenge of the Muay Thai master Sampa, and was willing to accept any boxing master from any country to prove to the world the strength and charm of Wuxia's martial arts. This was Tang Jing challenging the experts of the world. This kind of domineering action immediately made the public extremely excited, as if they had eaten an aphrodisiac. The supporters of Wuxia's martial arts were all shouting excitedly. They volunteered to support Tang Jing on the internet, and many people responded. Brother Kung Fu's name was even more resounding, even comparable to many big stars. However, there were also many doubters. Many people hurled insults at Tang Jing, thinking that he was just playing to the gallery. These people were waiting to see Tang Jing make a fool of himself. The people who were the most angry were the people of the Martial Arts Association. They did not recognize Tang Zheng's strength, and even thought that his kung fu was showy and impractical, just to deceive laymen. But this time, Tang Zheng directly bypassed them and challenged the experts of the world, which was equivalent to slapping them in the face. For so many years, no one had ever dared to do this because the real martial arts masters did not bother to pay attention to this group of clowns. The Martial Arts Association immediately issued an official statement, saying that Tang Zheng was discrediting martial arts. When the time came, his showy and impractical skills would not be able to defeat the experts of other countries. That would be a great sin, and this was the sinister intention of the foreign forces. They told everyone to be on guard and not let Tang Zheng succeed. Tang Zheng's counterattack was also very fast. Through the reporters, if the people of the Martial Arts Association thought that he was not qualified, then they could challenge him first. This made the public even more heated, but the statements of the experts of other countries who accepted the challenge one by one pushed this matter to the highest level. The experts of all kinds of boxing from other countries accepted the challenge one after another, and they were about to come to Wuxia to accept Tang Zheng's challenge. This was equivalent to them admitting that Tang Zheng's level was not showy and impractical like what the Martial Arts Association said, but real kung fu. The Martial Arts Association was immediately silenced. Only then did they realize that Tang Zheng's kung fu was not fake but real kung fu. These officials who only knew showy and impractical kung fu immediately knew that they were in a dilemma. The martial arts competition they held immediately became a laughing stock, and no one dared to challenge Tang Zheng. This matter made Tang Zheng even more popular in Yenching University, and he became a real celebrity. Everywhere he went, people pointed at him and talked about him. Many people even directly came up to him to cheer him on, telling him that he must ruthlessly teach those foreign boxers a lesson. Tang Zheng tasted the taste of being a celebrity, but his mentality was very calm. This made Li Xiaotian, who was still following him, snort disdainfully. "You're a cultivator. What's the point of bullying those so-called experts?" Tang Zheng shook his head. "How am I bullying them? To be honest, there are also experts in other countries such as the island nation. You also saw the strength of the other party in the 100,000 mountains. They are real experts. You're only at the foundation establishment stage. If you provoke the experts of those countries like this, aren't you asking for trouble? What if you lose?" Li Xiaotian asked in confusion. "There are some things in this world that have to be done. If others don't do it, I won't do it either. Then no one will do it." In the past, it was because of this that Huaxia's martial arts fell into such an awkward situation. Although I'm not a martial artist, I also have a martial arts dream since I was young. I want to do something for martial arts as much as I can. Tang Zheng's words were sincere. When Li Xiaotian heard this, her expression changed slightly. She was a martial artist, but she had never thought about this problem. She didn't care about other people's views on martial artists. As for the decline of Huaxia's martial arts, it had nothing to do with her. However, after hearing Tang Zheng's words, she couldn't help but feel a little ashamed. The dignity of Huaxia's martial arts had to be protected by a cultivator. Your intentions are very good, but some people might not understand you. Don't you see that the people from the Martial Arts Association have been slandering you? Li Xiaotian said. Tang Zheng laughed unconcernedly. There will always be a few clowns in this world. If I pay attention to them, wouldn't I be looking for trouble? I just need to do my own thing. Aren't you afraid that the martial sect will come to deal with you again? As long as you don't reveal my identity, the martial sect will always be afraid of me. In fact, the more famous I am, the more cautious the martial sect will be. Tang Zheng laughed. Oh, so that's your plan. You're quite smart. The two of them did not continue to chat because he was informed to go to the academy's office building. In the office building he saw Yan Liang and another middle-aged man. The man frowned and stared at Tang Zheng with hostility. Yan Liang looked at Tang Zheng with a complicated expression. The last time Tang Zheng was humiliated in front of xuanhuan, the dean even criticized him. This made him secretly hate Tang Zheng. However, Tang Zheng had xuanhuan's support. There was nothing Yan Liang could do to him. This time, Tang Zheng had caused a big stir and became the focus of public opinion. He had also slapped the Martial Arts Association hard in the face. Yan Liang hated and was afraid of Tang Zheng. However, he could hold his head high today. He was secretly excited because the chairman of the Martial Arts Association, Zhanghu, had come to the academy and criticized Tang Zheng in front of the school leaders. Zhanghu was not an ordinary person. He was a real official. He was the head of the Martial Arts Association and a deputy director. He had single-handedly promoted the establishment of the Martial Arts Association. Yan Liang was the tutor of Tang Zheng's cohort. In the end, he was entrusted with an important task by the academy. Yan Liang was asked to cooperate with Yu Zhankue to deal with Tang Jing's matter. Yan Liang had an imperial sword. He said arrogantly, "Tang Jing, you've caused such a big trouble this time. You've brought shame to the academy and the martial arts association. Do you know what you've done wrong?" Tang Jing was baffled. This Yan Liang's criticism caused his anger to burst out with a whoosh. He did not have the slightest bit of good expression as he retorted, "Humph, you're trying to put a big hat on me, right? You're not qualified." Yan Liang had a bad reputation. Tang Jing heard that he had accepted many gifts from the student union cadres before promising them positions. Yan Liang was delighted. "The more you jump, the happier I am. This way, you'll be able to prove your arrogance to the chairman of the Martial Arts Association. Let's see what he'll do to you. You think I can't do anything to you just because you have Xuanhuan's support? You're wrong. You're too naive. This society is too complicated. There are thousands of ways to mess with you. This is a godsend." Chapter 351. Tang Jing raised his eyebrows and looked at the person he had never met. He retorted, "Where are your manners? Nonsense, this is simply nonsense. Are the students from Yenching University all like this?" Yu Zhankue flew into a rage. This kind of official, who was used to being high and mighty, was obviously flustered and exasperated when he saw a young person dare to challenge his authority. "Tang Jing, this is the chairman of the Martial Arts Association, Yu Zhankue. You are being too presumptuous with your words," Yan Liang reprimanded sternly as he tried his best to defend Yu Zhankue's authority. Tang Jing's gaze turned cold. The other party was actually the chairman of the Martial Arts Association. In other words, he was the one who had repeatedly declared that Tang Jing's martial arts were showy but impractical, saying that he was trying to please the crowd with claptrap. Tang Jing's face gradually revealed an evil expression. He clasped his hands and said, "So it's the chairman of the Martial Arts Association. Nice to meet you." Seeing Tang Jing's expression soften as though he was about to give in, Yu Zhankue's face revealed a pleased expression. He thought to himself that his reputation was indeed great. This immature brat was still afraid of him after all. Yan Liang's expression darkened. This brat actually knew how to be afraid. It was too unexpected. This way it would not be able to intensify their conflict. "Humph, Tang Jing, immediately go and make a statement. Obey the management of the Writers' Association and cancel the arranged battle with those people," Yu Zhankue said arrogantly. Tang Jing found it a little funny. This person really thought he was a big shot. He was not in a hurry to fall out with him. Instead he asked, "Oh, what other requests do you have?" Yu Zhankue's expression became even more arrogant as he said, "In addition, apologize to the Martial Arts Association in public. Apologize for your irresponsible words in the past and apologize for tarnishing the reputation of the Martial Arts Association." "Is that so? What else?" Tang Jing asked with a smile, his eyes narrowed into a thin line, as if he was harmless to humans and animals. Li Xiaotian stood at the side without saying a word, watching with great interest. When she saw Tang Jing's expression, the corners of her mouth also curled up into a faint smile, as if she was watching a good show. Also, Yu Zhankue was stunned for a moment, as if he didn't expect Tang Jing to be so tactful. He paused for a moment and said, "I haven't thought of anything else yet. When we think of something, we'll let you know." The smile on Tang Jing's face grew wider, but there was a trace of coldness in his eyes as he said, "Since Chairman Yu is a senior, then I have a presumptuous request." "Oh, what is it? Tell me." Yu Zhankue thought that he had completely taken the initiative and intimidated Tang Jing. "I want to ask you about your martial arts," Tang Jing said firmly. "Ask you about my martial arts?" Yu Zhankue was stunned for a moment. He only knew a little bit of martial arts, so how could he be a match for Tang Jing? Moreover, he was relying on his status as an official and not his real martial arts. However, he concealed it very well and said in a dignified manner, "Your humble attitude to learn is good, but I can't bully a junior. It wouldn't be good if I hurt you." Tang Jing obviously knew what the other party was capable of, so he wouldn't be deceived by the other party's few words. He said, "I'm not worried about getting hurt. Please enlighten me." Tang Jing's 2 feet moved forward, closing the distance between them, almost touching Yu Zhankue's face. Yu Zhankue was shocked and hurriedly retreated. But how could Tang Jing let him escape? With lightning speed, he directly grabbed the other party's arm, and with a kacha sound, the other party's 2 arms were directly removed, limp and powerless as they drooped, and his face revealed a look of fear and pain. Before Yu Zhankue could finish his sentence, Tang Jing's 2 palms had already landed on his chest, and with a ping sound Yu Zhangkui was sent flying, crashing into the wall in a sorry state. Ah! Yu Zhangkui screamed miserably. Yan Liang was so scared that he sat down on the ground. This scene was completely out of his expectations. More importantly, Tang Zheng's fierce attacks made him dumbstruck. Only now did he realize how terrifying Tang Zheng's strength was. If he targeted Tang Zheng, then if Tang Zheng did the same to him, then his life would be in danger. You dare to hurt me? I will sue you. I will have Yenqing University expel you. Yu Zhangkui roared. Tang Zheng disdainfully said, Sue me? Then go ahead and sue me. Didn't you call yourself a senior? It's not wrong for me to ask you for guidance, right? If I hurt you, then it can only be because you are not as skilled as others. Yu Zhangkui was speechless. Humph, let me tell you, if you want to put on airs in front of me, then you are still too inexperienced. Your martial arts association's inaction these past few years has harmed Huaxia's martial arts. You should be clear about it. If you have any moves, then feel free to use them. I will receive them one by one. As for you wanting me to quit school, haha, then let's see if you have the qualifications. After saying this, his eyes turned cold as he stared at Yan Liang. Yan Liang's entire body went cold. He trembled as he retreated and said, Tang Zheng, what are you doing? Instructor Yan, I have no grudges with you in the past. If you really treat me as a student that you can bully as you please, then let me tell you, you will be very miserable. You better look out for yourself. Students don't come to school to be yelled at and do whatever you want. Tang Zheng, you misunderstand. I have no intention of targeting you. Yan Liang shook his head like a rattle drum as he denied. Humph, you know very well. Tang Zheng and Li Xiaotian left the school's office building. You're not afraid that President Yu will take revenge on you? I don't think he is a good person. You hurt him and also made him lose face. You will not let this go. Li Xiaotian asked with a smile that was not a smile. Tang Zheng shrugged and said, That is exactly what I want. I am looking forward to his revenge. Only then will it involve his interests. Don't you think the Martial Arts Association's actions these past few years are strange? Oh, what's strange? Li Xiaotian asked curiously. The Li Palace was well informed, but they had never paid attention to an unimportant organization like the Martial Arts Association. The Martial Arts Association holds this so-called martial arts convention. Just how many so-called experts have been invited? They are fooling the common people, but the common people are not stupid. They gradually see through the true colors of these so-called experts, so the martial arts conventions are becoming less and less interesting. There are not many people paying attention to them. Many of the common people even think that Huaxia's martial arts are gimmicks and have no fighting power. They are incomparable to those foreign martial arts. In this way, isn't the Martial Arts Association cutting off their own path of retreat? Tang Jing analyzed. Li Xiaotian looked puzzled. I have never thought of this problem before. Listening to your analysis, isn't the Martial Arts Association's actions contradictory? It does not suit their interests at all. There must be a reason for this abnormality. There must be something fishy going on here. It is just that I have not yet figured out what is strange about it. As he spoke, Yu Zhangkui walked out of the office building with his arms drooping. His face was dark and ruthless. At this moment, a car stopped in front of him. He got in and left. What should we do? Since there are so many strange things, of course we should chase after him and see what is going on. Didn't you say that he would not let this go? Let's go and see what kind of revenge he will take, Tang Jing said. Li Xiaoyan's eyes lit up. She was a fearless person, so she nodded readily. Okay, let's go. The other party's speed was not very fast. The two of them followed like a whirlwind. From afar, they saw the car enter a high-end villa. The two of them quietly climbed in and sneaked into the villa. Immediately, they heard Yu Zhangkui's angry voice. I must kill that brat. He dared to hurt me. I will not let him have it easy. This Tang Jing is not an ordinary person. You have not heard of his name, so you suffered at his hands, the other person said. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian saw the owner of this voice. Was a white man. His appearance was very different from the Huaxia people. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian looked at each other. They both felt the other's doubts. How did this Yu Zhangkui get together with a foreigner? Tang Jing had a flash of inspiration. He seemed to have understood something. Mr. Wales, what is the background of that brat? Yu Zhangkui asked curiously. His background is not simple. He is a true martial artist and has a close relationship with the Ye family, Wales said. Tang Jing was shocked when he heard this. This foreigner actually knew him so well and even knew about his relationship with the Ye family. His incident at Dragon Elephant Mountain caused an uproar in the city, but after all, It was only spread in a small circle of the upper echelons. Normal people did not know. But this foreigner actually knew, which meant that the other party's identity was not ordinary. You are talking about the Ye family in the capital? Xianxia was shocked. Other than this Ye family, who else dares to call themselves the Ye family? Wales smiled mysteriously. He has such a strong backing. Then how do we fight him? Xianxia's face was ashen. Don't you have us behind you? With us behind you, even if it is the Ye family, what is there to be afraid of? Wales said fearlessly. Tang Jing was slightly shocked. What was the background of this Wales? He was not even afraid of the Ye family. One had to know that against a huge family like the Ye family, normal forces would not be able to resist at all. Xianxia seemed to remember Wales' background. The fear on his face gradually receded. He squeezed out a smile and said, yes, with Mr. Wales' help, the Ye family is nothing to be afraid of. Moreover, it is not just the Ye family in the capital. The other families have been eyeing the Ye family for a long time. We are not fighting alone, we have an alliance. When the time comes to deal with the Ye family together, Tang Jing will not be a threat. Only death will await him, Wales said confidently. Xianxia's eyes lit up and said, yes, we must kill this kid. Just do your own thing. The martial arts convention must continue to be held. We must make the people lose all faith in wuxia. Only then can the martial arts of wuxia truly disappear from this world. An unnatural expression flashed across Xianxia's face. Chapter 352. Xianxia was convinced. He clenched his teeth and nodded. All right, since we've already reached this step, let's do this one last time. When the time comes, I'll go abroad to reunite with my family. Contempt flashed through Wales' eyes. These wuxia people who only had benefits in their eyes. They completely disregarded the essence left behind by their ancestors and abandoned it like a worn-out shoe. No wonder there were still so many people in the world who looked down on them. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian were shocked to the core. These two people actually colluded together for their own benefits. It was too shameless. No wonder there were so many people criticizing wuxia martial arts these past few years, and it was a one-sided order. It turned out that there were external forces adding fuel to the fire. Li Xiaotian's eyes were filled with murderous intent. She wanted to rush out and end these two people, but Tang Jing stopped her and shook his head at her. Li Xiaotian snorted and held back. Wuxia martial arts are the soul and courage of the people of this country. If we eliminate wuxia martial arts, then this nation and this country will have no soul. In the future we will return to this land and take the resources of this land for ourselves. Chairman you've made great contributions. We won't forget you. Wales didn't hide his intentions and laughed loudly. Xianxia smiled embarrassedly and revealed an awkward expression. Chairman Xianxia, you're a person of the Western Empire in the future. This is all your contribution. You should be happy. This society follows the law of the jungle. This country is too weak and should be eliminated. Wales patted Xianxia's shoulder and said. Xianxia took a deep breath and said as if relieved of a burden, yes, I understand. Don't worry, Mr. Wales. I will definitely take care of this matter. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian left the villa. Li Xiaotian asked indignantly, why didn't you let me kill these two traitors? What's the point of killing them? Tang Jing asked. Of course it's useful. This kind of person shouldn't exist in this world. I originally thought that Xianxia was just a guy fishing for fame. I didn't expect him to be so much more than that. He's a traitor who betrayed the interests of his country. Although the Li Palace was a mysterious organization that basically didn't care about worldly affairs, they were still wuxia people. What Wales was scheming wasn't just a little bit of benefits, but the entire country and its people. This was an attempt to destroy the country and its people. This was not the physical destruction of the wuxia people, but the spiritual destruction of their beliefs. This was the most dangerous thing. Without the spiritual support of a person, a nation could only be reduced to walking corpses. You killed Xianxia and the other Xianxia. Zhao Xianxia colluded with them. Can you kill them all? Li Palace glared and said, don't tell me there aren't any true patriots in this country? Of course there are. But this country has a lot of people and there are also a lot of vermin. That's why we have to kill this conspiracy from the source. The source is the power behind Wales. If we kill them now, we'll only alert the enemy. It'll be difficult to find them in the future. Moreover, they definitely aren't colluding with just Xianxia. There are definitely other despicable people who are colluding with them. Didn't you hear him say that there are other big families colluding with them? All the more reason for us to investigate this. Tang Jing said. Li Xiaotian gradually calmed down. Yes, we have to pull out this tumor from the source. Otherwise, killing 1 or 2 people would only give us a momentary satisfaction. It would be impossible to dissolve this conspiracy. Okay, I'll listen to you. What do you think we should do? Li Xiaotian looked at Tang Jing in a new light and humbly asked for advice. Isn't your Li Palace very good at gathering information? Of course we'll need your Li Palace's help. Li Xiaotian didn't hesitate and immediately agreed. Okay, I'll immediately send people to gather information on this. This time I'll completely dissolve their conspiracy. Tang Jing didn't tell this news to anyone else so as to avoid it being leaked. Li Xiaotian went to investigate this matter. Without a burden, he had more freedom to move around. At night, he went to Lu Qingmei's house. He predicted that there would be a huge storm, so he had to increase his strength as soon as possible to deal with this crisis. He lingered with Lu Qingmei for a while, then took out the dragon origin pill. Tang Jing looked at the dragon origin pill curiously and asked, "What is this thing?" "This pill can help you increase your cultivation. I can't always be by your side to protect you, so you have to have the power to protect yourself." Lu Qingmei was delighted. Ever since she started cultivating, she had also tasted the benefits of cultivation. Not only was her skin better, she was also more spirited. It was as if she was several years younger. "Is this pill so miraculous?" Lu Qingmei asked in disbelief. "Of course, but I'm not sure how much it can increase my cultivation, so I'll try it out first to understand its medicinal properties," Tang Jing said. "It's not dangerous, right?" "Of course not." Tang Jing smiled faintly. In fact, he didn't know whether or not there was any danger. A normal dragon origin pill used the blood of a flood dragon, but Tang Jing used the blood of a much higher grade true dragon this time. So he had no idea what the medicinal properties of this dragon origin pill were. "Then you take it first. I'll protect you," Lu Qingmei said. Tang Jing sat down cross-legged, adjusted his breathing and took the dragon origin pill. As soon as the dragon origin pill entered his mouth, it was as if an energy bomb had exploded. A powerful energy rushed from his throat to his 8 meridians. In an instant, Tang Jing felt as if his body had been thrown into a furnace. He groaned and hurriedly circulated his qi. The ancient clear heaven scroll and the dragon god secret art revolved at the same time. True qi surged like a roaring river, rampaging through his meridians. It was as if his body was about to be torn apart. Beads of sweat appeared on his forehead as his face revealed a painful expression. Lu Qingmei saw this scene and was shocked. She shouted for Tang Jing, but he didn't respond. She didn't know what to do, but she didn't dare to touch Tang Jing. She could only anxiously look at him as she prayed, "Tang Jing, nothing must happen to you. Why is this dragon origin pill so powerful? Is it a miracle pill or poison? It can actually make him feel so much pain." Although Tang Jing was in pain, he still guarded his mind. He continued to circulate the ancient clear heaven scroll and the dragon god secret art. The restless true qi continued to jump up and down, rising bit by bit. So, the true qi that was originally 7 inches long instantly rose to 8 inches. Moreover, it didn't stop, as if it wanted to break through his body. He couldn't help but scream miserably. He thought to himself, "F***ck, why is this dragon origin pill so overbearing? It even mobilized the pure yang energy in my body. Could it be that I'm going to explode and die?" Lu Qingmei saw that his cheeks were gradually turning red like soldering iron. After a while, his body began to emit green smoke. In the end, his clothes directly ignited into flames. She screamed. But in an instant, the flames were extinguished again because his clothes were burned to ashes in an instant, and he was naked. Fortunately, beside him was Lu Qingmei, who had been intimate with him before. If it was anyone else, it would be embarrassing. His entire body had turned fiery red, and even his lower body had become a pillar that supported the sky. His fighting spirit was high. Lu Qingmei glanced at him, and a trace of redness appeared on her face. She said angrily, "Why is this guy so restless when we're cultivating?" Xiao Bai watched from the side with great interest. This little guy wasn't worried about Tang Jing at all. After glancing at him, it placed its attention on the porcelain bottle that contained the dragon origin pill. The little guy held the porcelain bottle and gently poured out a dragon origin pill. It looked left and right, and then quietly, its eyes revealed a look of joy. So, its little claws directly threw one into its mouth. Immediately, its eyes became brighter red. The last ball of flame burned in its eyes, and its snow-white hair also began to change, turning red bit by bit. In the end, its entire body was burning. Ah! Lu Qingmei was shocked by this unforeseen event. She didn't know what was going on, but when she saw the open porcelain bottle, she suddenly realized that Xiaobai had secretly eaten the dragon origin pill. Seeing Tang Jing's appearance, she also knew the consequences of eating the dragon origin pill. But Xiaobai had also secretly eaten it. What would happen? She didn't know about Xiaobai's miraculous abilities. Usually she only treated it as a puppy. This time, when she saw it secretly eat the dragon origin pill, she was helpless. Xiaobai didn't show a painful expression like Tang Jing. Instead, it seemed very excited. Its eyes lit up and its little mouth let out squeaking sounds. With a kick of its hind legs, it jumped up and jumped onto the wardrobe. Lu Qingmei screamed. Was this little guy going to ignite the whole room? Then wouldn't Tang Jing be in danger? But her worries were unnecessary. The flames outside the little guy's body didn't ignite anything. It was quite magical. Suddenly, a small figure jumped up and down in the room like a ball of flame, accompanied by squeaking sounds. Lu Qingmei was dumbstruck. She didn't know whether this was good or bad for Xiaobai. But no matter what, she could only wait and see. Soon, her attention was attracted by Tang Jing. She saw that Tang Jing's body was getting redder and redder, as if it was really going to burn. Especially the pain on his face was getting more and more intense. No, he's in great pain. I have to do something for him. Lu Qingmei muttered to herself, thinking hard about how to help him. Suddenly her heart moved. She remembered the secret Tang Jing told her. He had the 9 yang saint body. If the pure yang energy exploded, it must be the neutralization of the pure yin energy. Looking like he was about to burn, it must be the explosion of the pure yang body. It must be the neutralization of the pure yin energy. Where did the pure yin energy come from? Of course it came from her body. She undressed without hesitation. Her snow-white skin was gradually exposed to the air. Her palms touched Tang Jing's skin. Bang! A burst of burnt meat smell. She immediately groaned in pain and frowned. But she endured the pain and didn't shrink back. She knew that she was Tang Jing's last hope. She absolutely couldn't shrink back even if she was burned. So her whole body leaned on Tang Jing's body. A burst of green smoke rose. She felt as if her skin was torn open. She gritted her teeth, aimed at that part and sat down. Chapter 353. A blazing flame-like energy rushed into Lu Qingmei's body, but the pure yin energy in her body suddenly erupted, and a cool feeling like a tide neutralized the blazing energy. Lu Qingmei directly fainted under the impact of this energy, but their bodies still maintained the most intimate contact. Tang Jing felt that he was about to explode, but suddenly a wave of pure yin energy rushed into his body, instantly suppressing the berserk pure yang energy. The two energies and the energy of the dragon Yuan Dan complemented each other, and quickly transformed into true qi, which rapidly soared from 8 inches to 9 inches, and finally directly broke through the profound entrances. Only to hear a thunderous sound coming from his dantian, his whole body was emitting a red light, which also wrapped Lu Qingmei. Only when the sky turned white did the red light disappear, revealing 2 naked people. Lu Qingmei's burned skin was as good as new, like white jade, shining with a white luster. Both of them opened their eyes at the same time, and seeing this intimate contact, Lu Qingmei's face couldn't help but blush, but still asked with concern, "Are you okay?" Tang Jing shook his head. He already understood what happened. At the critical moment of his life and death, Lu Qingmei risked her life to save him, and pulled him back from the gates of hell. He couldn't help but have a lingering fear. The dragon Yuan Dan he refined had far surpassed the original dragon Yuan Dan, and the energy of the true dragon's blood was so terrifying that it directly detonated his pure yang body, causing the crisis of his body exploding to erupt prematurely. If not for Lu Qingmei using the most primitive method to transfer the pure yin energy in her body to him, then he really would have exploded and died. However, because he walked through the gates of hell, his harvest was also very big. His cultivation soared again and again, and directly broke through to the first grade in Idia, which was equivalent to a first-grade xianxia martial artist. In addition, he found that the true fire in his sea of consciousness had also undergone a qualitative leap, becoming a third-grade true fire. The flame was dark and emitted a flirtatious taste. Boom! Tang Jing opened his palm, and a third-grade true fire began to burn in his palm. The flame danced as if it could burn everything. Ah, Tang Jing, my power has also increased. Suddenly, Lu Qingmei couldn't hold back her surprise and shouted excitedly. 2BE, not only did the dragon origin pill increase my cultivation, it also allowed you to jump 2 levels, reaching the 3rd grade of refining qi. Tang Jing was also very surprised. One must know that when he cultivated to the 3rd grade refining qi, it took him nearly a month, but Lu Qingmei only took a few days. However, after thinking about it, she was relieved. This was the effect of the dragon yuan pill. A portion of the energy of the Dragon Yuan pill had been transferred to her body. Her cultivation was not high to begin with, so under the effect of the Dragon Yuan pill, she naturally advanced at lightning speed. Lu Qingmei was originally prepared to die to save them, but she didn't expect to get a blessing in disguise. She was overjoyed. "Sister Mei, thank you. Without you, I would have been in danger last night." Tang Jing sincerely thanked her. Lu Qingmei smiled. "You are my lover, the two of us are one, how could I not save you?" Tang Jing held her in his arms, and the two of them were tightly pressed together. Lu Qingmei couldn't help but gasp and said, "Don't move." Tang Jing deliberately straightened his body, and Lu Qingmei cried out in alarm, "Xiaobai is next to us." "Xiaobai." Tang Jing turned his head to look, only to see the little guy lying on the side as if it was asleep. "It doesn't matter, it's asleep." Early in the morning, the two's hormones were soaring and Lu Qingmei was also aroused. Not long after, the battle began. After the wind stopped and the rain stopped, Lu Qingmei seemed to have fallen apart, lying on the bed in satisfaction, her eyes full of deep affection. Tang Jing walked in front of Xiaobai. He heard the strange sound of Xiaobai secretly eating the Dragon Yuan Dan last night, and was greatly surprised. He fiddled with Xiaobai and the little guy slowly woke up, opening its big round eyes. Tang Jing's eyes lit up, the fiery red in the little guy's eyes became stronger, and its hair became whiter, without a trace of impurities. Xiaobai seems to have also transformed. Tang Jing didn't know what kind of divine beast Xiaobai was, and was quite curious about what he would become in the end. Squeak squeak. Xiaobai cried out, in high spirits, and went to the porcelain bottle containing the Dragon Yuan Dan, as if it wanted to eat the Dragon Yuan Dan again. Tang Jing quickly put it away, and Xiaobai immediately pouted, quite dissatisfied, as if complaining that Tang Jing was a stingy person. Tang Jing wasn't stingy, this Dragon Yuan Dan was really too fierce, and Xiaobai didn't know the severity. If it ate too much, it would cause some bad consequences. He wasn't completely sure, so he would rather not let it eat. Moreover, he couldn't continue to eat. He had to wait until his power was consolidated and reached a certain stage before he could take it, or else Lu Qingmei's purine energy might not be able to save him if his body exploded again. He put away the remaining 8 Dragon Yuan Dan and taught Lu Qingmei some spells, letting her practice at home. When she reached the 3rd grade of Qi refining, she could practice the most basic spells, and in the future she would have the power to protect herself. When Tang Jing returned to school, Li Xiaotian found him. He faintly felt that his temperament seemed to have changed a lot, but he didn't ask much. Instead, he told him the results of the investigation on whales and Yuzhankue. The Li Palace's intelligence system was indeed powerful. In just one night they found out the general situation. Wales was actually a member of the Western Empire's Rockefeller family. This family was the largest family in the Western Empire, with wealth comparable to that of a country. Moreover, they had great influence in politics, the military, and the business world. Wuxia had many large families coexisting, while the Western Empire was dominated by one family. The entire country was under the influence of the Rockefeller family. It was just that they didn't think that the Rockefeller family wasn't scheming for commercial interests, but for the interests of a country. In other words, it was also a conspiracy of the Western Empire. They wanted to use this method to destroy the spirit of the people of Wuxia, and their intentions were sinister. The Rockefeller family had been secretly plotting in Wuxia for many years, and many officials had been bribed by them, becoming their accomplices in plundering benefits. "We must destroy this conspiracy," Li Xiaotian said solemnly. "Of course, but have you found out what follow-up actions they have?" Tang Jing asked. Li Xiaotian shook his head and said, "The other party's actions are very secretive. I haven't found anything yet, but they will definitely take action against you. I think we will see the results in 2 days." The results came out very quickly. The Martial Arts Association once again sent out invitations to all the boxing experts in the world to participate in the martial arts conference. Many of the experts who had originally refused actually agreed and came in droves. In a few days, a large number of experts had gathered in the capital. This time, the Martial Arts Association showed their face again. The face that had been swept away by Tang Jing was won back, and everyone's attention was pulled back to the Martial Arts Association. The Martial Arts Association issued a statement that these experts would participate in the martial arts conference. If anyone wanted to spar with them, then they had to sign up for the martial arts conference. They also mentioned names, and Tang Jing was no exception. Tang Jing had originally hoped to spar with these people independently of the Martial Arts Association, but he did not expect the Martial Arts Association to get involved again. The strange thing was that these experts who had originally disdained the Martial Arts Association actually agreed. There must be a reason for this abnormality. Tang Jing and Li Xiaotian immediately guessed this point. Third brother, the Martial Arts Association just issued an announcement that a press conference will be held at the Shangri-La Hotel this afternoon to announce the Martial Arts Conference. At that time, the experts from all over the world will appear one by one, and the domestic registration period will also end at the press conference. Sinosaurus and the other two ran over, panting. The Martial Arts Association is too despicable. They didn't even inform you. I don't think they want you to participate at all. They also knew that the chairman of the Martial Arts Association had been beaten up by Tang Jing a few days ago, and they thought it was a deliberate revenge. However, Tang Jing understood that the situation was far more complicated than they had imagined. The Martial Arts Association had two motives for doing this. First, if Tang Jing did not participate in the martial arts conference, then the experts from all over the world would not spar with him. Moreover, they would defeat the other participants from wuxia one by one in front of everyone. This was undoubtedly the most fatal blow to wuxia's martial arts. From then on, wuxia's martial arts would completely lose the hearts of the people and never recover from this setback. Abandoned child. If Tang Jing participated in the martial arts conference, then he would be lowering his head to the Martial Arts Association, and the Martial Arts Association would gain back some face. As for what tricks the other party would use to defeat Tang Jing in the subsequent matches, they could not think of any for the time being. Li Xiaotian also understood this point in an instant, and he was unable to restrain his anger. This Martial Arts Association is too hateful. Let's go smash their place. Yes, let's go make a scene at the venue and embarrass the Martial Arts Association. Sinosaurus and the others agreed. This bunch of officials, instead of doing proper business, they are thinking of some sinister methods to harm people. Tang Jing smiled coldly. After all, their little tricks are not elegant. They want to use this kind of method to checkmate me. How can I let them do as they wish? I want to make them go for wool but come home shorn. Oh, what are you going to do? They were curious. You'll know when the time comes. Tang Jing smiled mysteriously and went straight to the Shangri-La Hotel with Li Xiaotian. There was already a sea of people outside the hotel. This time, the debate about martial arts had already caused a stir and attracted the attention of many people. When they heard that a press conference would be held, both the pro-martial arts faction and the anti-martial arts faction rushed over. However, these two groups of people were already arguing outside the hotel. The competition on the internet had become face-to-face. Their faces were red, and there were signs that they were going to fight without saying a word. The hotel's security guards were so busy that they broke out in cold sweat. These hundreds of people could actually be stopped by just a few of them. At this time, more than 10 cars drove to the entrance of the hotel, and people got out one by one. Immediately, the atmosphere changed because the people who got out of the cars had different faces. Many of them were foreigners, and they raised their necks arrogantly as if they were superior to others. One of them glanced at the quarreling parties and sneered disdainfully. The weak only know how to win with words. Only the strong solve problems with their fists. As he spoke, he waved his fist. Chapter 354. One of the martial artists was furious. He rushed forward and questioned, "Who are you calling weak?" The Westerner said arrogantly, "Of course it's you guys, ha. You're just a bunch of people who only know how to talk. Who are you? How dare you come to our country and spout nonsense? I'm an expert invited by your Martial Arts Association to participate in the competition. I'm here to defeat you and show you what true strength is. You won't succeed. Our martial artists will beat you to a pulp." "Humph, are you talking about that young man? He's just a so-so. He's dreaming if he wants to beat me. You people from Wuxia have always been weak. It was like that 100 years ago and it's still the same now. That will never change," the Westerner said disdainfully. The history of Wuxia 100 years ago was the most humiliating period in its history. It was unbearable to look back on. Because of its weak national strength, it was broken by the Western Empire's strong ships and cannons. From then on, it signed many unequal and humiliating treaties. More than 100 years had passed, and these Westerners still thought that the Chinese could be bullied as they wished. They really deserved to die. This was intolerable. His words poked a hornet's nest. Many people shouted, "What did you say? Do you think I won't beat you?" Said. "Yes, beat this Westerner up." The crowd was riled up. The Westerner was not afraid at all. Instead, he said provocatively, "See, I told you all only know how to talk. When it comes to true strength, you're all cowards, ha." Everyone's faces turned red, but the other party was an expert. Everyone knew that they were just ordinary people and were no match for the other party. Therefore they did not dare to say anything. At this time the staff of the Martial Arts Association walked out and scolded loudly, "What are you shouting for? This is an important guest. How can you be rude to an important guest?" When the Westerner heard this he was furious. "F***ck your mother. This person insulted our country and you're speaking up for him." The staff said disdainfully, "A bunch of boring people." Then he said to the crowd of fighters, "Everyone please come in. The press conference is about to begin." Many of the fighters revealed proud smiles, turned around and walked inside. "Stop." The person who supported the martial arts shouted, "If no one wants to challenge you then I'll challenge you. I want you to apologize for what you said just now. Wuxia will not allow you to insult her." "So what if I insult you? What can you do about it? Are you a match for me? I can crush you with one finger." The Westerner said contemptuously, "I won't allow you to insult Wuxia." The person from the martial arts faction roared and rushed forward. The Western man threw a punch and hit his opponent's chest. Bang! The martial faction fell to the ground in a sorry state and was in so much pain that he could not get up. "Too weak. Not even worth mentioning," the Westerner said. "Ah!" Many other boxers chimed in loudly. Immediately the others were enraged. They pointed at the other party and asked why they were attacking. At that moment the staff of the Martial Arts Association stood up and shouted, "What are you doing? It's clear that this person attacked first. His skills are inferior so he deserves to be beaten. He's lucky that he didn't die." This insult from their own compatriots made everyone even angrier. It was no wonder that foreigners looked down on Wuxia. Even their own compatriots had so many lackeys. It would be strange if other people looked down on them. Tang Jing walked into the crowd and happened to see this scene. Immediately the evil fire surged. The Martial Arts Association was rotten to the bone. If the upper beam was not straight, the lower beam would be crooked. With Yu Zhangkue, a lackey who sold his country for glory, it was no wonder that there were such subordinates. Seeing that the other party was helping foreigners to insult their own compatriots, Tang Jing walked over with a gloomy face and said, "Please apologize to this gentleman." "Who are you?" The staff did not recognize Tang Jing. "I'm a Wuxia." The staff curled his lips and said disdainfully, "Get lost. You have no right to speak here." "Are you still a Wuxia?" Tang Jing questioned. "It's none of your business. Are you asking for a beating?" The staff had also learned a few tricks. Seeing that Tang Jing was deliberately finding fault with him and making him lose face in front of the foreign guests, the anger in his heart rose. "If that's the case then you asked for it." Finished speaking, he used a capturing hand to grab Tang Jing's wrist. Tang Jing moved as fast as lightning. With a backhand grab he grabbed the staff's arm first. Then with a crack he directly broke it. This time he did not dislocate the staff's arm. Instead he directly broke the staff's arm. Because the other party was a Wuxia, but he was helping the tyrant. This was even more hateful, so Tang Jing was even more ruthless. The staff screamed involuntarily. The others looked at this scene in disbelief. This person moved too fast. Before they could see clearly how he did it, the staff's arm was broken. In addition, this person was too bold. He dared to make a move at the Martial Arts Association's press conference. This was simply a challenge and a slap in the face of the Martial Arts Association. "I recognize him. Isn't this person Brother Kung Fu?" Suddenly someone exclaimed. After his reminder, the others also reacted. "Wasn't this person the famous Brother Kung Fu? He actually came to the hotel and taught the people of the Martial Arts Association a lesson so neatly. It was so satisfying." Many people who supported the martial arts shouted excitedly, "Brother Kung Fu, we support you. You're good. Teach these traitors a lesson. It's too hateful." Tang Jing nodded to the excited crowd, then squatted down to support the person who supported the martial arts and asked, "How are your injuries?" The other party looked at Tang Jing excitedly and seemed to have forgotten the pain in his body. He said, "Brother Kung Fu, it's really you. I knew you would come and defeat these people who don't believe in Wuxia's martial arts. You're the best. I'll support you to the end." "Thank you. It's because of this group of people that Wuxia's martial arts can be passed down for a long time. Decades or centuries later, when people talk about Wuxia's martial arts, you have a part to play. Without your trust and support, the inheritance of Wuxia's martial arts will be affected by some people with ulterior motives," Tang Jing said. When the other party heard this, he asked in disbelief, "I'm not a martial arts practitioner. Do I have a part to play in the inheritance of martial arts?" Tang Jing nodded solemnly. "Of course. Well, with your words, I haven't believed in Wuxia's martial arts for so many years in vain. I promise that I will continue to believe in it in the future. My son and my grandson will continue to believe in it. Yes, we will continue to believe in it. The group of people who supported the martial arts were excited. However, there would always be some clowns jumping out. A person with a sarcastic tone said disdainfully, "What you say sounds better than singing. Martial arts depends on one's real ability, not on one's mouth. Relying on one's mouth to show off, that's a sissy, not a martial artist. Yes, these people are just trying to show off. I don't think they have any ability. They should wash up and go back to sleep. Don't come and make a fool of themselves." This was the person who supported the martial arts. Tang Jing coldly snorted. In any country, there would always be a small group of people who thought they were smart, but always did things that hurt their loved ones and pleased their enemies. Your brother Kung Fu? Suddenly, a voice interrupted Tang Jing's thoughts. He saw the Western man who attacked earlier walk in front of Tang Jing. Tang Jing helped the people who supported the martial arts up and said, "I'm you. Oh, you have some ability, but I think you're just SOSO. The Western man tilted his head and said, "Is that so?" Tang Jing did not comment. He pointed at the Western man and said, "You just spoke rudely and hurt many people. You hurt the feelings of wuxia people. I want you to apologize for your words and actions." "Aha, you want me to apologize?" The Western man laughed as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. "Yes, you're not standing in your Western Empire, but in Huaxia's land. You publicly insulted Huaxia people. If you don't apologize, then don't even think about leaving this country alive." Tang Jing said coldly. "Ah, what a joke. What ability do you have to say that? With your showy martial arts?" The Western man had seen videos of Tang Jing's fights. Although he admitted that his opponent was not an ordinary showy martial arts, he was still confident that he could defeat Tang Jing. We'll know if I have the ability after we try. Well, although the martial arts conference has not started yet, I don't mind warming up with a fight. Come on, kid, let me teach you what a real master is. When the others heard this, they had different expressions. No one expected a fight to break out before the martial arts conference started. The staff member with the broken arm took advantage of the chaos to sneak into the hotel. "Brother Kung Fu, teach this Western man a lesson." The people who supported the martial arts shouted. The other foreigners were not willing to be left behind. They all shouted, "Kyle, teach this kid a lesson. Make him kneel on the ground and beg for mercy." "Ah, good, as you wish." Kyle smiled proudly as he clenched his fists. Immediately, the muscles on his arms bulged and his bones cracked. Tang Jing said expressionlessly, "Do it. I advise you to do it first. Otherwise, if I do, you won't have the chance to do it." Kyle said. Tang Jing snorted and said, "If that's the case, then fall for me." Tang Jing tiptoed and shot out like an arrow. He threw a punch at his opponent. Kyle's reaction was also very fast. He also threw a punch. Bang. The two fists collided and a muffled sound rang out. But right after that, the sound of bones breaking rang out. The blood vessels on Kyle's sturdy arms had actually exploded, and blood spurted out. A section of bone directly pierced through the muscles and was exposed outside. It was eerie white and was covered in blood. It was exceptionally terrifying. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. No one expected that Kyle's arm would be crippled with just one punch. This injury was much more serious than the injury suffered by the staff member just now. It was unknown how many bones were broken, and even the blood vessels had exploded. How much power did he need to exert? Everyone had different feelings, but no one cheered and no one cursed because they were really shocked by this attack. Chapter 355. Tang Jing's next attack was so fast that it was dazzling. Only the shadows of his fists could be seen flying. Kyle's chest, abdomen, and head were hit one after another, and the sound of his head breaking was incessant. Li Gu was dead meat. In the end, there was a loud bang as Kyle smashed into the hood of a car. The hood quickly caved in and white smoke rose from it. At this moment, screams suddenly sounded, and the foreign boxers were like springs under their feet. They quickly shot in front of Tang Jing and glared at him. "You dare to hurt people?" Everyone was an expert. They didn't need to check at all to know how serious Kyle's injuries were. This person was really disabled. In the future, his fighting strength would be even worse than that of an ordinary person. It was very likely that he would be left with a disability. Tang Jing stood proudly. Under the watchful eyes of the many enemies, he did not show the slightest bit of fear. Instead, the corners of his mouth hooked up into a faint smile as he said, "Do you want to start fighting here? I'll accompany you." Several boxers were eager to try, but they didn't dare to attack rashly. Tang Jing's lightning-like attack just now had made them understand that Tang Jing was not a showy fighter. He had real strength. What are you doing? Suddenly Xianxia walked out, and a large number of news reporters also heard the news and quickly walked out. Seeing this tense situation, the reporters seemed to have been injected with chicken blood. They were quite excited, and one after another they raised their cameras and aimed them at the parties involved. Xianxia's face was gloomy. He glanced at the wounded and dying Kyle, then turned his head to stare at Tang Jing. His eyes were almost spitting fire. He didn't expect Tang Jing to be so bold and dare to attack in front of so many people. Moreover, his attack was so heavy that he directly disabled Kyle. Tang Jing, do you know what you are doing? Xianxia had already planned that no matter how Tang Jing responded, the Martial Arts Association would win back face. However, Tang Jing disrupted the rhythm. Tang Jing said frankly, "Of course I know. This man not only insulted our country and our people, but also dared to attack our compatriots. Does he think that this is still a century ago? Wuxia is going to let them bully her?" Tang Jing's words were powerful and resonated with many people as they all shouted, "We will not allow them to bully us. If they dare to bully us, we will beat them until they are looking for their teeth on the ground and send them back to their grandma's house." Shut up. Don't spout nonsense. These are VIP guests that the Martial Arts Association specially invited. They're here to participate in the martial arts tournament, and they're all very well-mannered people. How could they be like what you're saying? Xianxia spared no effort in defending the Westerners. That's right. We didn't say anything at all. It's all because of this guy. He's the one who injured Kyle. He must be held responsible and be severely punished. The Westerners were not idiots and immediately agreed. Seeing the other party's clumsy praise, Tang Jing laughed disdainfully. You're lying in front of so many people. Don't you feel ashamed? That's right. It's too shameless. We're not blind or deaf. We won't forget what you've done just now. We'll remember all the insults you've inflicted on our country and our people. The crowd was agitated. This scene was recorded by the camera, and Tang Jing's powerful questioning was also recorded without reservation. Xianxia saw this and felt a chill in his heart. If this matter was messed up, then his benefits would be gone. All of his previous efforts would be in vain. Therefore he shouted in a deep voice, "Shut up. He's a guest from afar. Wuxia is a hospitable nation. How can we neglect our guests like this? Hurry up and help Mr. Kyle to get treatment. As for some people's responsibilities, they must be strictly investigated." As he spoke, he glared fiercely at Tang Jing. Tang Jing wasn't afraid at all. He wasn't the ignorant person he used to be. He wasn't someone who could be bullied by others. "Dear guests, please come in first. I'll take care of this matter," Xianxia carefully said to the Westerners. The Westerners coldly snorted. They also knew how to take advantage of the situation. Therefore, they glared at Tang Jing with an unfriendly expression and left in a huff, entering the hotel. Aha, these people are also cowards. Kung Fu Bro is so powerful that they don't even dare to fart. The crowd vented their anger. That's right. This is Wuxia's land. How can they be allowed to strut around? Of course we have to thank Kung Fu Bro for this. Unlike some people who only know how to be arrogant at home, when they meet a foreigner they're like their own son. The crowd's words were like steel needles that pierced Xianxia's heart. His heart felt as if it was bleeding. His expression kept changing until finally, his face was ashen as he said, "Tang Jing, you have to take responsibility for your actions." Haha, of course I will take responsibility. Let me tell you, I came this time to defeat these fighters you invited and let them know the profoundness of Wuxia's martial arts. Tang Jing solemnly vowed. Xianxia's eyes flashed with a hint of pride. He thought to himself that this brat still lowered his head to the Martial Arts Association and still came to participate in this martial arts convention. Tang Jing didn't lower his head. The Martial Arts Association was so cunning that they used the Martial Arts Convention as a threat. If Tang Jing didn't participate, then he wouldn't be able to compete with these fighters. Although he participated in the Martial Arts Convention and it looked like the Martial Arts Association temporarily suppressed Tang Jing, in reality, this wasn't the case. This martial arts convention scale was especially large. Not only did it attract domestic attention, but it also attracted international attention. The martial arts convention's finals would be broadcasted live to the world on the internet. This was an excellent opportunity. Since Tang Jing wanted to prove Wuxia's martial arts to the world, then he would use this opportunity to show the world the power of Wuxia's martial arts. He wanted to defeat all his opponents fair and square. When that time came, Wuxia's martial arts would be deeply rooted in the hearts of the people, and the spirit of martial arts would be reinstilled in the hearts of Wuxia's people. The Martial Arts Association's sinister goal would be destroyed. Therefore, Tang Jing was only a temporary drag, and they would fight for greater benefits in the future. Isn't the deadline for the martial arts convention's registration later? I also want to sign up. Tang Jing said. When the time comes, don't get kicked out in the knockout round. That would really be a disgrace. How can you talk about being broad and profound? Xuanhuan said sarcastically. Tang Jing didn't care and strode into the hotel. Xuanhuan followed in dejectedly. The other reporters were all excited. They had already thought of the title and content for tomorrow's report. This martial arts convention would definitely attract everyone's attention. Tang Jing finished the registration procedures and then sat in the audience seats in the hall. The Westerners sat directly at the guest seats. Under the spotlight, they showed unruly expressions. In addition, a few of the leaders of the Martial Arts Association and a few sect leaders were also sitting in the guest seats. These people were frequent guests of the previous martial arts circle tournaments, but this time, all of them had resentment on their faces. They seemed to be a little absent-minded, especially when they looked at the Westerners. Their gazes were filled with fear. Obviously, they also understood that they were not a match for these people with flashy moves. Many people did not understand why Xuanhuan would make such a big deal out of this martial arts tournament and invite all the powerful boxers in the world. Was he not deliberately making things difficult for them? However, Xuanhuan had an official status, and the martial arts convention was a semi-official competition. Of course, Xuanhuan made the final decision. Even if others had different opinions, they could only keep them. The audience seats were gradually filled with people. Many of them were the crowd that had just watched. They all gave Tang Jing a thumbs up and cheered him on. Li Xiaotian sat next to him and whispered, "You were so impressive just now. You completely suppressed the momentum of that group of people." Tang Jing lightly said, "Don't underestimate these Westerners. In fact, their strength is not bad. Just now, even though I knocked down Kyle with a series of attacks, I also felt that the opponent's body was strong." After a pause, he sighed and continued, "In fact, to be honest, the bodies of foreigners are really stronger than many of our people. This leads to their great strength. Their boxing skills are also relatively simple. They don't have as many martial arts routines as our country. They pay more attention to external attack power than internal force cultivation. This is another way of cultivation, but after successful cultivation, their strength can't be underestimated." Li Xiaotian nodded. "I haven't had much contact with these Westerners, but what you said makes sense. Just now, I saw that there were indeed masters in the other team. Although they didn't have strong internal force fluctuations, their combat strength can't be underestimated. Your cultivation is only equivalent to that of a Hotian warrior, so you have to be careful." Li Xiaotian didn't know that Tang Jing had broken through to the fasting realm, which was equivalent to that of a Xiantian warrior. However, Tang Jing didn't explain. He just nodded gently to show that he understood. There was another clamor at the door and another group of people walked in. However, these people didn't have Western faces. Instead, they had Eastern faces like the people from Wuxia. However, it was obvious that these people weren't from Wuxia, but from several countries around Wuxia. Their land area couldn't be compared to that of Wuxia, but many of them were very developed. Especially in the area of martial arts, many countries' martial arts were even passed down from Wuxia hundreds of thousands of years ago, and then passed down and improved to the current situation. Therefore, many martial arts were of the same origin as Wuxia's martial arts. There were also many that paid attention to the cultivation of internal force, which was completely different from Western boxing. Tang Jing swept his gaze around and noticed a person in the group. This person was extremely skinny and did not have a trace of excess meat on his body. His physique was not tall, only 1.7 meters tall. His face was dark, but his eyes were filled with an ominous light. Tang Jing took notice of his 2 legs. When he walked, they were strong and powerful. Moreover, every step seemed to have been measured, not a bit more, not a bit less. "This person is Sampa," Tang Jing said. Li Xiaotian also noticed this person and secretly nodded. "He's worthy of being the #1 master of Muay Thai. Although he looks to be in his 30s, his cultivation is definitely not low. He's quite a strong opponent for you." Chapter 356. These Asian faces were not simple, and Tang Jing felt a familiar aura from a few of them. Island Nation warriors. Tang Jing had fought with the Island Nation people too many times, so he was quite familiar with their aura and mannerisms. Island Nation people are here again? Did Sawada Ichiro summon them? But I didn't find Sawada Ichiro among them? He did not know the details, so he looked at the other Asian faces. These people were like actors in an opera, and many of them were even in makeup, giving off a feminine vibe. Hey, these people must be from the small country in the East, Korea. Plastic surgery is popular in the country, but their TV series and variety shows have a lot of fans in wuxia. Such a small country is participating in the Martial Arts Circle Convention. This time, the Martial Arts Association is really determined, Tang Jing said. He did not have a good impression of this country that liked to steal the traditional culture of other countries. He thought to himself that he must teach these Koreans a lesson during the competition. Li Xiaotian said with a half-smile, "You're going against the whole world. So what? Don't be fooled by the so-called martial arts of some countries, but when it comes to a real life and death battle, it might not be useful. Take Korea's Taekwondo for example. It's purely for showing off and tricking little girls. It's not presentable," Tang Jing said disapprovingly. Li Xiaotian agreed, "That's why you have to expose their disguise this time. If it wasn't for my sensitive identity, I would want to participate in this martial arts circle convention." Many guests were invited to the stage, and the audience below the stage was also filled with people. There was a long row of cameras and cameras. The chairman of the Martial Arts Association, Xianhu, went up to the stage to give a speech and announce some details of the Martial Arts Circle Convention. The Martial Arts Circle Convention would be held tomorrow at the National Stadium, and it would be the largest martial arts circle convention in history. Then a few guest representatives spoke. Dai Beiyan from the Western Empire pointed out that they would definitely defeat Huaxia's martial arts and show them a true master. Such remarks immediately provoked a backlash from the people below, and there was a lot of discussion. However, the Westerner was not afraid at all, and continued to speak step by step. In fact, this was a provocation. Coupled with the scene at the entrance of the hotel, many people hated these Westerners. The representatives of the island nation and the Gaoli nation also spoke one after another. Although their words were very calm and did not have too many provocative words, the confidence and arrogance revealed between the lines still made people secretly hate them. The great Huaxia was provoked by such a small country. Many people could not bear such humiliation. They looked at the representative of the Martial Arts Association, hoping that he could give a strong counterattack. The representative of the Martial Arts Association looked down with an expressionless face, as if he had not heard anything. It was chilling. Siam's Muay Thai representative, Sampa, stood up to speak. His men glanced at the crowd as if trying to find someone. His Huaxia language was very stiff, but people could barely understand. "I came here to duel with the person in the video. He is a master. I will have a fair fight with him and I will defeat him." After that, he turned around and walked back to his seat. Everyone immediately knew who he was talking about, and quite a few people turned to look at Tang Jing. Tang Jing's heart moved, as even though this Song Ba still displayed a powerful self-confidence, he sounded much more pleasing to the ear than the other speakers. At the very least, he did not mix in so many messy words of arrogance, and instead purely pursued a confrontation of strength. The representative of the Martial Arts Association went on stage. He was expressionless and spoke as if he was reciting a script. He said that the most important thing was to participate, to compete, and to learn humbly from everyone. The crowd was infuriated. Just now, so many people were pointing at the nose and saying that Chinese martial arts would not be able to withstand a single blow and would definitely defeat the Chinese. However, this spokesperson turned a deaf ear to them like a puppet and said such nonsense as if he was chanting scriptures. As long as it was someone with passion and a sense of national honor, they would not be able to stand it. Sure enough, a shoe was thrown out from the crowd and directly hit the representative's face, leaving a clear shoe print. "Get out, we don't want to listen to your nonsense. Damn it, they are bullying us and you only know how to talk nonsense. It's really embarrassing. Yes, get out, you can't represent Huaxia's martial arts." The crowd was agitated and many people stood up. The situation suddenly collapsed, and the reporters recorded this explosive scene. The representative's face turned red with embarrassment, and he did not know what to do. Didn't he always speak like this before? There had never been a problem, so why did it go wrong this time? He did not know that many people in the audience had already been provoked. His soft speech was like a fuse that ignited the explosive in the hearts of the audience. The representative turned to Yu Zhangkue and asked him to make the decision. Yu Zhangkue's face was livid. A good press conference turned out like this and it made him lose face. He got up, walked over and scolded in a low voice, "Get out." The representative felt like he had been granted amnesty, and went back to sit down dejectedly. Yu Zhangkue coughed, cleared his throat and said sternly, "What are you doing? This is a press conference, not a market. It's not a place where you can do whatever you want. ****, you were bullied to the point of being a coward. Are you still Huaxia's people? How dare you scold us? Whoosh. Another shoe flew out from the crowd and hit Yu Zhangkui's face. Yu Zhangkui did not let down his guard. Moreover, he had some martial arts skills, so he quickly dodged. However, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Another shoe also flew out, and it just happened to calculate the trajectory of his dodge, and it ruthlessly hit his face. Slap. There was a soft sound like a slap on his face. This time the person who threw the shoe was very strong, and his face immediately turned red. Yu Zhangkui was about to go crazy. He flew into a rage and said, "Who is it? Who attacked me? I'm going to catch you and make you suffer." However, there were so many people in the audience. How could he find the murderer? Get out, Huaxia's martial arts are not something you can represent. Kung Fu Bro, let Kung Fu Bro go up. Only Kung Fu Bro can represent Huaxia's martial arts. Get out of the F*King Martial Arts Association. Yes, get out of the Martial Arts Association. Let Kung Fu Bro speak. Kung Fu Bro. Kung Fu Bro. The crowd immediately boiled over. Everyone shouted the three words Kung Fu Bro at the same time. It was deafening. The people from the Martial Arts Association were about to go crazy, especially Yu Zhangkui. If this went on, it would be impossible for him to announce the end of the press conference immediately. He glanced at the crowd and immediately saw Tang Zheng. He remembered this face very clearly, and it could be said that he hated it to the bone. His dislocated arm had been completely restored, but when he saw Tang Zheng, he faintly felt pain in his arm. Tang Zheng, I will definitely let you win or lose in the competition. You want to ruin my good thing? No way. His eyes bloomed with resentment. Li Xiaotian pushed Tang Zheng's shoulder and said, "Your voice is so loud. Don't you want to go up and say a few words?" Tang Zheng looked at Yu Zhangkui and the group of good-for-nothings from the Martial Arts Association from afar, especially the mocking and arrogant attitude of the foreign boxers. The anger in his heart rose. Since this matter could not be settled peacefully, there was no room for retreat, and there was no need to save face for them. Tang Zheng stood up suddenly. Immediately, everyone's gaze was attracted to him, and he became the focus of attention. The crowd's shouts came to an abrupt stop as everyone looked at Tang Zheng with burning eyes, and their hearts uncontrollably sped up by a bit. Kung Fu Bro finally stood up. Tang Zheng strode to the podium, ignoring Yu Zhangkui's murderous gaze. He unceremoniously pushed Yu Zhangkui away and said into the microphone, "Some people think that our Huaxia people are still the sick and weak body from more than 100 years ago. Some people think that our Huaxia people are still bullied and humiliated by others. Some people think that our martial arts are fragile. Today I stand here to tell these people that the Huaxia people have risen in the world. The humble gift package of the Huaxia people will definitely give the enemy a fatal blow. The martial arts of Huaxia are extensive and profound, with a long history, and will definitely bloom with the brightest light. Those who dare to come to our country and criticize us will be kicked back to their grandma's home." The crowd was really quiet and even a pin drop could be heard. Everyone stared at Tang Zheng with their eyes wide open. The foreigners were shocked that there was such a person in Huaxia, but they were also very angry. Tang Zheng vividly showed his confidence in Huaxia's martial arts, which was unacceptable to them. In their hearts, their own martial arts were the most powerful. The people of the Martial Arts Association were so ashamed that they wanted to find a hole to hide in. However, these officials' faces were thicker than the city walls. They still sat in their seats calmly, but their eyes were full of resentment when they looked at Tang Zheng. They seemed to hate Tang Zheng more than the foreigners. They wanted to eat his flesh and drink his blood. However, for the ordinary audience, Tang Zheng's words were like an accelerant, completely igniting the blood in their hearts. They only heard the earth-shattering cheers one after another. Yes, kick him back to his grandma's home. Huaxia will win. Huaxia will win. The unprecedented confidence and enthusiasm made every audience clench their fists. Their eyes were red with excitement, and hot tears filled their eyes. How many years had it been since they heard such exciting words? Every time they were faced with external pressure and bullying, they were given a soft official answer, which had worn away too much of the people's enthusiasm and faith. Tang Zheng's words just happened to ignite their last trace of enthusiasm. This enthusiasm exploded, and the energy that was glowing was stronger than ever before. No one dared to underestimate it. Clap, clap, clap. Chapter 357. The press conference ended, and the Martial Arts Association slipped away with their tails between their legs. Tang Zheng, on the other hand, was in the limelight and became the darling of the media. Countless reporters wanted to interview him, and the audience also surrounded him. Fortunately, he and Xiaotian had profound skills, so they did everything they could to squeeze out of the crowd. This press conference caused the Martial Arts Association to lose face, and made Tang Jing famous. Immediately after, there were related reports on the internet, and they were quickly reposted. Tang Jing's speech was very short, but it was a powerful reply to the foreigners' provocation. It was 1,000,000 times sharper than the Martial Arts Association's soft and superficial speech, and it was also more inspiring. Kung Fu Bro's reputation was even more well known on the internet. This martial arts convention also became a hot topic. Many people who originally did not pay attention to this aspect also gradually paid attention. As for the Martial Arts Association, they were even more scolded, especially Yu Zhangkui, the president of the Martial Arts Association, was also scolded by name. Yu Zhangkui walked around in exasperation, and a few cups were already smashed on the ground. He muttered, "You've gone too far. Tang Jing, I won't let you go. This press conference is messed up and this kid stole the limelight." He also neglected the important guests. "What should we do now?" Dong dong. The sound of footsteps could be heard as Mr. Wales walked in. Yu Zhangkui's heart skipped a beat and he was shocked. He hurriedly went up to greet him without any arrogance. Instead, he bowed and said with trepidation, "Mr. Wales, about today's press conference?" Mr. Wales waved his hand and said, "It's fine. Tang Jing stole the limelight this time and stirred up many people's emotions, but this is only temporary. The higher he climbs, the more painful it will be when he falls. When his image in people's minds collapses, Wuxia's spirit will naturally collapse. It will be difficult to gather this spirit again within 100 years. Yu Zhangkui was overjoyed. He gave a thumbs up and praised, "Mr. Wales is truly brilliant. This effect is even better. Let him jump around for a few days." Wales nodded and continued, "But Kyle was seriously injured by him and became a cripple. This matter cannot be ignored." "Oh, then what are you going to do? Should we call the police and arrest him?" "Hee, if we call the police and arrest him, how are we going to defeat him in the ring?" Wales said mysteriously. "Oh, then what should we do? I have my own plans." Killing intent shot out from Wales' eyes as he spoke in a profound manner. Yu Zhangkui couldn't help but recall the scene of Tang Jing and Kyle fighting earlier. Kyle didn't have the strength to fight back at all, which meant that Tang Jing's strength was very high. Thus he said worriedly, "Tang Jing's skills are not simple, I'm afraid." Wales understood what he meant and sneered mysteriously, "So what if you're good at fighting in this world? You still need to rely on your brain." As he spoke, he pointed at his own head proudly. Yu Zhangkui's heart trembled as he pondered. When Tang Jing returned to school, he was blocked by Yi Dingdang. The girl pouted and looked at Tang Jing with resentment. "You've been with Li Xiaotian these past few days and didn't accompany me? If you're going to that press conference, I can go with you." Tang Jing smiled bitterly, "Aren't you in class?" "I'm going to skip class." "I can skip class too," Yi Dingdang said without hesitation. She even purposely glanced at Li Xiaotian. This woman was too shameless. She followed Tang Jing all day like a third wheel. Now that the two of them were talking intimately, she was also watching with interest. She openly listened to them from the side. Yi Dingdang naturally couldn't show weakness. Thinking of Feng Xinyang's advice, she gritted her teeth and hugged Tang Jing's arm. Tang Jing immediately felt a soft sensation on his arm. He couldn't help but glance down. His arm was pressed against her chest and was a little deformed. "You're very famous now. Many people on the internet are supporting you, hoping that you can defeat those foreigners. Are you confident?" Yi Dingdang asked curiously. "You and I have known each other for so long. Do you think I won't be confident?" "Of course you are," Yi Dingdang said. "You're the best. You can definitely defeat those people and become the champion." "Then do you have classes tomorrow? Come with me to the arena." Tang Jing's heart moved as he asked. Yi Dingdang was overjoyed and hurriedly nodded her head. "Okay, the two of us will go together. I also want to see those fighters. Do you want me to pull in some cheerleaders to cheer you on?" "No need." Tang Jing declined. "Let's wait until the finals." The next day, Tang Jing rested for the whole night. Then Yi Dingdang and Li Xiaotian went to the national stadium together for the first round of the knockout round. There were already many people outside the stadium. Everyone's interest was aroused by the media's lengthy reports. They all wanted to see the situation of the real masters fighting. However, when the knockout round started, everyone found that there were no foreigners on the stage. They were all Wuxia people. The organizers of the Martial Arts Association explained that the foreign boxers were specially invited guests. They were masters who had been internationally famous for a long time. Therefore, they were qualified to advance directly and didn't need to participate in the knockout round. This aroused the dissatisfaction of the audience. This was clearly discrimination. In their own country, foreigners were superior. How preposterous. However, the rules of the game were set by the Martial Arts Association and couldn't be changed. Everyone could only focus on the knockout round. The elimination round was not much different from the previous rounds in the martial arts tournament. They were all flashy fights and they fought against each other for a long time. They looked incredibly dangerous, but in truth they were all moves that had been rehearsed beforehand, and they were incredibly fake. The audience was tired of this fake show. They snorted at it and kept booing. All the boxers resisted the booing and finally decided the winner. They couldn't wait to get off the stage. We want to see Kung Fu Bro's real skills. Kung Fu Bro, hurry up and get on the stage, someone shouted. The others echoed. Actually, Kung Fu Bro can advance directly. These people from the Martial Arts Association are very despicable. They don't treat everyone equally. They even made Kung Fu Bro fight from the start of the knockout round. Yes, this is clearly bullying. It doesn't matter. Do those idiots from the Martial Arts Association think this can stump Kung Fu Bro? Wishful thinking. Let us see Kung Fu Bro pass all the stages and defeat all his opponents. This was not like the small audience at the press conference, but an audience of over 1,000 people. However, because this was the elimination round and one needed to buy tickets, there were only over 1,000 people in the audience. However, because this was the elimination round and one needed to buy tickets, there were only over 1,000 people in the audience, but these over 1,000 people cheering for Tang Zheng was also quite spectacular. Tang Zheng was in the limelight, completely suppressing the others, causing the other participants to have ugly expressions. However, no one dared to raise any objections as there was no other way. Tang Zheng had real martial arts while they had fake martial arts. When the devil meets the devil, how could they have the right to make a fuss? Xuanhuan didn't come today because he knew that Tang Zheng would win without any suspense. He didn't want to be provoked again. Tang Zheng's opponent was a man in his 50s. When he saw Tang Zheng, his legs trembled. He obviously knew that he was no match for Tang Zheng, but he didn't have the courage to give up. Otherwise it would be too embarrassing. The two sides exchanged blows. Tang Zheng's movements were like lightning and thunder. It was too fast. Just as his opponent got into position, Tang Zheng's fist was already in front of him. He quickly retreated in a panic. This person was a little quick-witted. As he retreated, he directly fell to the ground and dodged the attack. Tang Zheng leaped over him and swept his leg. Just as this person got up, he realized that Tang Zheng's leg was ruthlessly whipping him. He hurriedly reacted and put his fists in front of his chest. Tang Zheng's leg ruthlessly whipped his fists. He staggered and staggered back. Tang Zheng had seen this person yesterday. He was the representative of wuxia sitting in the guest seats. It was said that he had participated in several martial arts conferences and was the leader of some sect. Tang Zheng originally thought that his opponent had at least some kung fu, but after testing him, he realized that his opponent really only knew how to use flowery but impractical moves. It was all a sham. Tang Zheng had no interest in exchanging blows. He controlled his strength and punched out. The opponent couldn't dodge and was hit in the chest. With a whoosh, his opponent flew out of the ring and fell to the ground, motionless. The referee immediately announced that Tang Zheng was the winner. The crowd burst into earth-shattering cheers. Many people even shouted Kung Fu Bro. Tang Zheng nodded to the audience. This battle was won too easily. There was no suspense. He subconsciously looked at his opponent below the ring and found that he was still motionless. The staff members had already rushed to him and helped him up. Suddenly, the staff members' expressions changed greatly. Their eyes bloomed with disbelief. They all turned to look at Tang Zheng. Tang Zheng's head trembled. He couldn't help but have an ominous premonition. He quickly walked over. The others' attention was also attracted. They all talked at once, not knowing what had happened. "What's wrong?" Tang Zheng asked. The staff member said with an ugly expression, "He died." "What, he died?" Tang Zheng was shocked. His punch was not enough to kill him. Although this person's moves were flowery but impractical, he was much stronger than the average person. It was impossible for him to die after taking his punch. Tang Zheng's expression was dignified and suspicious. The staff members were even more nervous. This kind of martial arts competition would definitely cause injuries, but no one had ever died. So everyone was a little at a loss. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Tang Zheng had killed his opponent with a single punch. This matter was blown out of proportion. The audience immediately knew what had happened and they all showed horrified expressions. A martial arts competition was not about killing people. It would be too vicious to directly kill someone. Some of the martial arts factions loudly reprimanded Tang Zheng, saying that he was too cruel and merciless. He must pay with his life. The dead man's fellow disciples rushed over and threw themselves on the dead man's body. They wailed and shouted, "Sect leader, you died so unjustly. We will definitely avenge you. A life for a life. We must not let the murderer get away with it." Chapter 358. Everyone was in an uproar. Tang Jing had killed someone in front of so many people. This matter had blown up. This was not a life and death competition. There had to be someone responsible for a murder case. Everyone looked at Tang Jing with a complicated expression. Even the audience members who had supported Tang Jing just now had forgotten what to say. They were at a loss. The deceased disciples had already called the police. Someone blocked Tang Jing's path, as if they were afraid that he would escape. However, no one made a move. They all knew that they were no match for Tang Jing. They were also worried that they would follow in the footsteps of their sect leader. However, pairs of resentful eyes were vividly displayed. "You can't escape. The police will be here soon. There are so many witnesses. Don't even think about escaping the punishment of the law." Tang Jing frowned and said sternly, "My punch could not have killed him. There must be something wrong." Twisting words and forcing logic. How dare you twist words and force logic after killing someone? You're too much of a bully. Everyone help us testify. This person killed our sect leader, but he denied it. Is there such a despicable person in the world? Allowing such a person to participate in the Martial Arts Society convention is ruining the convention's reputation. Tang Jing looked on coldly and said, "Whether or not I am qualified to participate in the Martial Arts Society convention is not up to you. As for his death, there will naturally be a forensic doctor who will give a verdict." Okay. Then we'll wait and see. Let's see how you escape the law and the condemnation of your conscience. In the face of everyone's questioning, Tang Jing's expression did not change. His mind was already racing. He still had no way to investigate the cause of the other person's death. He could only wait and see. After a while, the police car drove directly into the stadium. The deceased was carried into the car, and Tang Jing was directly taken to the car by the police. Tang Jing did not resist because he was not guilty. He also wanted to understand the reason. The elimination competition came to an abrupt end. It could not be held. It was temporarily changed to the next day. Some of the police brought people back to the police station, while others recorded the statements of the witnesses. As for the deceased, he was sent to the police station for an autopsy. Someone slammed the table in front of Tang Jing. The two policemen opposite him began to ask questions, and Tang Jing answered them in detail. The two policemen's expressions were a little strange. Killing someone with one punch, how strong was this person's hand? These martial artists really shouldn't be provoked. According to everyone's testimony, the victim was killed by you with one punch. What do you think about this? The police asked over and over again, and they connected many clever questions together. If Tang Jing lied, he would be exposed. This was the most basic interrogation routine, but Tang Jing was telling the truth. His answers were the same several times without any discrepancy. "He took my punch, but whether or not he died because of this punch I am not sure, but one day I must declare that my punch can't kill people," Tang Jing said solemnly. In several other interrogation rooms, the deceased disciples insisted that Tang Jing deliberately killed the victim and must be severely punished. Although some of the audience confirmed that the victim died under Tang Jing's fist, they still defended him, thinking that it was impossible. Perhaps the victim was scared by Tang Jing. The news of the death in the elimination competition had spread, and there was a lot of discussion. The competition between the cessation of martial arts faction and the anti-martial arts faction continued. Both sides had their own opinions. Some people even suggested that the victim had a serious illness, so he died suddenly. Some people also suggested that the victim knew that he was not a match for Tang Jing, so he was scared to death. In short, there was a fierce discussion and no one came to a conclusion. At the end of the interrogation, Tang Jing repeatedly reiterated that he was not the murderer. Although there were many witnesses, the autopsy results of the deceased were still needed to prove it. As the biggest suspect, Tang Jing was left in the police station. This time, Tang Jing did not resist but was very cooperative. This made the police officer who handled the case suspicious and feel flattered. As for Li Xiaotian and Yi Dingdang, the two did not follow to the police station. Before Tang Jing was taken away, he secretly told the two to look for clues. There was something fishy about this matter. The two immediately took action, and more information about the deceased gathered. When night fell, Tang Jing was lying alone in a single room in the guard room. After making sure that there was not much movement around, he quietly made a dummy with a pillow and lay on the bed. After covering himself with a quilt, he sneaked out of the room. How could a guard room like this trap him? He appeared and disappeared like a ghost, passing through the passageways and arriving at the basement. The basement was eerie and it was chilling. This was the place where the police conducted the autopsy. The reason Tang Jing was willing to stay at the police station was because of this corpse. In the middle of the night, the forensic doctor had already left, and the basement was empty. Tang Jing had even seen ghosts before, so of course he was not afraid of this environment. On the cold operating table was a corpse with its chest and stomach cut open. It was obvious that the autopsy had just been carried out. Tang Jing recognized at a glance that it was the person who had fought with him. Tang Jing saw the autopsy results next to the corpse. It was clearly recorded that the deceased had died from a heavy blow to the heart. Tang Jing was shocked. The two of them looked down. Sure enough, the chest of the corpse was cut open, and the heart was indeed ruptured. It seemed to have been caused by a heavy blow. However, Tang Jing carefully examined the corpse a few more times. Other than the heart, the other internal organs were intact. Even the skin did not have any traces of a fist. This was extremely abnormal. Moreover, he believed that his punch could not have ruptured the other party's heart. At the time, he had already discovered that the other party only knew how to use fancy moves, so he had deliberately reduced his strength. That punch would have only caused a dull pain in the other party's chest, but it would not have been fatal. Just as he was thinking hard, he suddenly felt the air around him become cold, as if the temperature had dropped by a few degrees. He could not help but shiver. However, it was not out of fear. Instead, he was surprised to see a soul float up from the corpse. Although this person had been dead for a long time, the soul had not completely left the body. At this moment, the yang energy was the weakest and the yin energy was the thickest in the world. His soul had finally left the body at midnight. The soul glanced at Tang Jing and his eyes flashed with surprise. Tang Jing's heart skipped a beat. The souls he had seen before were muddle-headed, but this soul was obviously much more awake and had a lot of consciousness from when he was alive. Tian Chanzi had once told him that this kind of situation was rare, but it was not impossible. For example, if the deceased had a strong obsession or if the deceased was a powerhouse when he was alive, then the soul would be much stronger. Even after death, the soul would not immediately become muddle-headed. Although this person only knew how to use fancy moves, he was obviously more powerful than ordinary people. His soul was much stronger. This made Tang Jing overjoyed. Since the other party still had the consciousness of when he was alive, then he could directly ask him about what happened when he was alive. How did you die? My fist definitely couldn't kill you, so did you die because of some other reason? Tang Jing directly asked. The soul looked at Tang Jing in surprise. You don't have to be surprised. I can see you and hear you. As long as you tell me the truth, I will definitely avenge you, Tang Jing said. The soul screamed, You are the one who killed me. Tang Jing suspiciously wrinkled his eyebrows and said, Let me reiterate, that punch of mine definitely won't be able to kill you. The one who killed you is someone else. You're already dead, so why would I lie to you? The soul was startled and stared blankly at Tang Jing, as if he was trying to determine whether Tang Jing was telling the truth. The moment you hit me, my heart started to beat faster. I felt blood fill my heart completely in an instant. A strong force broke through my heart and then I lost consciousness, the soul said after recalling. Tang Jing's eyes lit up and said, You are saying that the strong force in your heart came from within and not from external pressure? The soul was not an idiot and immediately realized the crux of the problem. It seems like that is the case. After all, he had also practiced some martial arts, so he understood that the pressure caused by the heavy blow was definitely from the outside, and not from the inside out. This meant that Tang Jing's fist was indeed not the real cause of his death. The soul was at a loss. He usually did not have any heart disease, so why would he have such symptoms? Tang Jing thought more and pondered for a moment before asking, What did you do before the match? Nothing much. I felt a little nervous, so I drank a glass of water to ease my nerves, the soul said. Water. Tang Jing's heart skipped a beat. The problem must be in that glass of water. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. After I drank the water, my nerves did not ease. Instead, my heart beat faster. I became even more nervous. The soul recalled and seemed to have realized something. Did someone drug me? Tang Jing nodded with a serious expression. Most likely, but the key is who is the murderer. What evidence do I have to prove this? The soul was at a loss. I didn't offend anyone. Why would someone want to harm me? They didn't harm you but me. It's only because you are my opponent that they attacked you. Tang Jing had already figured out the crux of the matter. There must be some drug in that glass of water that caused his heart to explode. Coincidentally, his punch had landed on the soul's chest, so it gave people the impression that he had killed the soul. It was too vicious. Such a flawless plan left him speechless. Did they want him to be unable to continue participating in the martial arts tournament? Who would do such a thing? The answer was obvious. If it was not Yu Zhangkue, then it was Wales behind him. The forensic doctor did not find any evidence. It must be that the drug was special and did not leave any traces in the soul's body. Tang Jing had no proof. It was impossible for him to say that he found the ghost of the deceased and solved this murder case together with the other party. I knew they wouldn't let it go, but I didn't expect them to be so insidious. It's only the knockout round and they're already playing tricks. Whoosh whoosh. Chapter 359. Tang Jing turned around like lightning, only to see two ghost messengers holding spears suddenly appear in the room. Tang Jing had not seen the ghost messengers for a long time, but he was not afraid. Instead, he stared at them with burning eyes. This person can see us. The ghost messengers exclaimed. Who are you? Why are you here? Tang Jing coldly snorted. When he killed the ghost messengers, he even attracted the ghost general. Furthermore, by a freak combination of factors, the ghost general injured Wu, allowing him to escape. However, in the end, the ghost general died in the 10-direction killing array. From then on, he never met the ghost general or ghost messengers again. Today, by a freak combination of factors, he met the ghost messengers. Furthermore, the other party already knew his secret. Of course, he could not let them leave so easily. How can there be someone in this world who can see us? Could it be the human who killed our ghost messengers and ghost general not long ago? The ghost messengers cried out in alarm, their faces revealing fear. This matter caused a huge commotion in the ghost realm. However, after investigating for a long time, the ghost realm could not find any clues. In the end, the matter was left unsettled. However, among the ghost messengers who frequently traveled between the ghost realm and the human realm, they were extremely fearful of that mysterious human. However, the other party seemed to have disappeared into thin air. Only then did the ghost messengers slightly dispel the doubts in their hearts. However, these two ghost messengers did not expect that today, they would hit the jackpot and actually meet this killing star. The two ghost messengers reacted extremely quickly. They immediately opened the ghost gate and jumped in. However, Tang Jing's speed was extremely fast. A black light flashed in his hand and the war soul sword appeared in his hand, blocking the path of the two ghost messengers. With two swishing swords, the two ghost messengers directly turned into a mass of yin qi, which was finally absorbed by the war soul sword. Seeing this scene, the ghost was scared out of his wits. He quickly floated to the side, avoiding Tang Jing. However, Tang Jing did not do anything to him. He advised, quickly go to the ghost realm, but you have to remember what to say and what not to say. Don't think that you can be safe and sound in the ghost realm. I can also go to the ghost realm. If I know that you dare to mention me to others, I will definitely chase you to the ghost realm. The ghost hurriedly nodded. Yes, I won't say anything. Thank you for letting me go. With that said, he jumped into the ghost gate and disappeared. Tang Jing put away the ghost envoy's command medallion and closed the ghost gate. He heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. He could also kill that ghost with a single strike of his sword, causing his soul to truly scatter and disappear from this world. However, Tang Jing still did not do so. The other party had died because of him. If he were to destroy the other party's soul, it would be too unkind. Tang Jing quietly returned to the guardroom and slept soundly. He was very curious as to how the police would deal with him. However, when the door to the guardhouse opened, he was told that he could leave. That person's death had nothing to do with him. Tang Jing clearly remembered that the forensic report he saw last night said that it was related to him. Why did the police's attitude change so drastically after one night? When he walked out of the police station, he found out the reason. He saw that under the light of the rising sun, Yi Dingdang was beautifully bathed in the sunlight. She was like a goddess, exuding a soul-stirring beauty. Yi Dingdang cheered and flew towards Tang Jing. Last night was simply torture for her. Only now did she realize that her feelings for Tang Jing were getting stronger and stronger. When she saw the police take him away, she wished that she could take his place. Although only one night had passed, she really felt that one day apart was like 3 autumns. Seeing her run over like a lark, Tang Jing subconsciously opened his arms and hugged her. At that moment, Yi Dingdang was stunned. This was the first time in history that Tang Jing took the initiative to be intimate. In the past, it was Yi Dingdang who would occasionally hold his arm. The most intimate time was when the two of them were sleeping on the same bed. Unknowingly, they hugged each other in their sleep, and Tang Jing's hand grabbed her chest. This time, Tang Jing's unprecedented action made Yi Dingdang feel like she was in a dream. It was especially unreal. Even Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang, who were standing next to the car, opened their eyes wide in astonishment. Feng Xinyang's eyes lit up. The corner of her mouth hooked up into a smile. She patted her husband's shoulder and urged him, "Get in the car, get in the car. Why are you blindly standing here like a third wheel? Don't ruin our daughter's good time." The two of them quickly got in the car. However, they couldn't help but look at the two through the glass window. The two of them seemed to. Yi Tianlei wanted to say something but stopped. Feng Xinyang waved her fist and laughed, as expected of Feng Xinyang's daughter. As long as the horsepower is full, there is no one who can't be wooed. This little handsome guy has really been taken down by our ding-dang. Really? Yi Tianlei was skeptical. Of course. You just wait and see. I see that the little handsome guy's aura is becoming more and more unpredictable. It seems that he has improved a lot. He really is a genius. I was worried that Ding Dang was too wild. Now that she looks more ordinary than the little handsome guy, I was worried that she wouldn't be good enough for him. Feng Xinyang said worriedly. Yi Tianlei comforted, "That's our daughter. How can you say that about your daughter? I think Ding Dang is very outstanding. She wouldn't be bad to be with little Tang. Moreover, the matters of the young people are not something we can interfere with. You don't have to worry about it." "What do you know?" Feng Xinyang glared at her husband. Her eyes turned and she seemed to be deep in thought. Tang Jing gently hugged Yi Dingdang and then let go. He was really moved by Yi Dingdang's excited expression and the deep affection between her eyebrows. Therefore he couldn't help but make an action. Although Yi Dingdang left his embrace, she felt her heart melt. Her face turned red like an apple and she didn't know what to say. "Get in the car. Your parents are waiting," Tang Jing reminded her. She followed Tang Jing step by step into the car. Her mind was still a little dizzy. Feng Xinyang looked at her daughter who seemed to have lost her soul and sighed. Why didn't this little girl have the demeanor of her mother when she was young? She lost her sense of direction so quickly. Later on, she would have to teach her by example and pass on her experience. "Uncle Yi, Aunt Feng, I have to thank you for this matter." Tang Jing thanked. Yi Tianlei said, "You don't have to thank us, that person wasn't killed by you in the first place. I've already seen the forensic report, and according to the description he didn't die from your heavy blow, but from other reasons. I originally wanted to use the power of the Ye family to suppress this matter, but after knowing the situation and explaining it to the police, they also realized that you weren't the murderer. Therefore this can't be considered our contribution." Tang Jing shook his head. If this point of suspicion wasn't raised by Yi Tianlei, then the police definitely wouldn't pay attention to it. They would most likely maintain the original decision of treating him as the murderer. Perhaps this was also the real murderer's goal. "Little handsome brother, do you know who is the real murderer behind this matter? He dared to touch my son-in-law. He must be tired of living. Feng Xinyang will take his dog head and kick it like a ball." Feng Xinyang said murderously. "For the time being, there is a suspect, but the specifics still need to be confirmed." Tang Jing didn't mention the relationship between Yu Zhangkue and Wales. "Do you need our help with this matter?" "Not for the time being. If there is any help, I will definitely tell you." Tang Jing tactfully declined. "Okay. Remember, we are one family. There is no need to talk about two families. If there is any need, we will do our best," Yi Tianlei promised. Feng Xinyang even more casually patted Tang Jing's shoulder and said, "Little handsome brother, if you are polite with us, then you are treating us as outsiders. Feng Xinyang don't like people who treat us as outsiders." Tang Jing smiled and nodded, "Thank you Uncle Yi and Aunt Feng." The news of Yi Dingdang leaving the police station safe and sound spread like wildfire, causing a huge uproar on the internet. Many people who were originally worried about Tang Jing cheered and ran to spread the news. Many people also began to question Tang Jing. He clearly killed someone in front of everyone, yet he could still leave the police station so openly. There must be something fishy going on here. Perhaps Tang Jing had some secret identity, which was why he was given such preferential treatment. Immediately, many people on the internet began to criticize and abuse Tang Jing. Tang Jing's image took a 180-degree turn in a few days. He was harshly denounced as an executioner. Many people signed signatures to have him get the hell out of the martial arts convention and turn himself in at the police station. As for the people who supported Tang Jing, they immediately started a war of words with these people, arguing with each other happily. Wales looked at the argument on the internet and the corner of his mouth curled up into a smile. Yu Zhangkue stood to the side in confusion and finally couldn't help but ask, "Mr. Wales, this kid just went in for one night and walked out so openly. We didn't achieve our goal, right?" Wales shook his head mysteriously and said, "No, our goal has been achieved." Xianxia asked in surprise, "Why? Weren't we going to stop him from participating in the martial arts convention?" "Who said I was going to stop him from participating in the martial arts convention? This is just an appetizer. If this little trick is enough to put him in jail, then you're underestimating him and the Ye family too much," Wales said. Xianxia was getting more and more confused. What was the other party's goal? Why was it so hard to understand? Wales glanced at him and thought in disdain, this person's brain is full of fat. Other than some low-level power struggles, what else does he know? He doesn't know anything. If it weren't for the fact that I need to borrow his power this time, why would I talk so much nonsense to this stupid pig? It's an insult to my intelligence. What I need is to muddy the waters and let this kid have both praise and blame. I want them to watch how their idol falls step by step. Don't they see him as the symbol of wuxia's soul? I want this symbol to shatter into pieces. This process is too wonderful, so wonderful that it makes my heart beat faster. I can't wait. Wales' voice suddenly became a bit louder. Xianxia felt that it was a bit strange, but he didn't dare to say anything. He could only flatter, "Mr. Wales is indeed brilliant. This time, our cause will be the most successful and greatest cause in history. Chairman, you also played a pivotal role in it. When our young lord comes, I will personally commend your contribution to him." Chapter 360. The young lord of the Rockefeller family will come to this land soon to witness the success of our plan, Wales explained. Xianxia's eyes gradually glowed. This young lord was the future leader of the Rockefeller family. If he could take this opportunity to build a good relationship with him, not only him but also his children and grandchildren would benefit a lot. "Mr. Wales, please rest assured. Our plan is flawless. It will definitely succeed." Wales smiled mysteriously and said, "Let's wait and see." When Tang Jing returned to school, he found out that people on the internet were arguing about him. He laughed it off. This situation was already within his expectations. But what surprised him was that even xuanhuan seemed to have heard about the storm he caused. He specifically talked to him and encouraged him, "Tang Jing, wuxia martial arts are a part of our traditional culture. In fact, we archaeologists are also the inheritor and promotion of our traditional culture. What you did this time is similar to what we did. So, you must work hard and let the world see the quintessence of our national culture." Tang Jing was slightly surprised. He immediately nodded and said, "Professor Qi, I'll be busy with the martial arts competition these days. I'm afraid that I'll miss a lot of classes in school." Xuanhuan smiled disapprovingly and said, "These classes are nothing. With your strength you can make up for it in the future. When your martial arts competition is over, I'll take you to Dianan." "Oh, why are we going to Dianan? I heard that there's a new archaeological discovery. We archaeologists often have on-site internships, but freshmen don't have this program. But you're my apprentice. Of course, I can't let go of such a good opportunity. Come with me when the time comes," Xuanhuan explained. Tang Jing nodded, but he didn't think about what the new archaeological discovery was. The next day the qualifying match began. It was still at the National Stadium. There were only 20 fighters left. This match would eliminate half of them, leaving only 10 fighters. This competition was even more intense, and foreign players would also be participating. Hence, most of the seats in the stadium were filled. Because of the elimination round, there were deaths. Although the police determined that it was a sudden heart attack, this martial arts convention was still tainted with the smell of blood. When Tang Jing walked into the stadium, there were two distinct types of shouts in the crowd. One was to support him and the other was to insult him. Especially the disciple of the deceased yesterday, he couldn't wait to rush up and punch him. Tang Jing ignored him and quietly walked to the backstage players' lounge. Li Xiaotian and Yi Dingdang followed beside him. The combination of the two beauties made him even more eye-catching, firmly grabbing everyone's attention. "These people really can't tell right from wrong. You were clearly wronged, but there are still so many people blaming you and insulting you," Yi Dingdang said indignantly. "Their mouths are growing on their bodies. Can you stop them?" Li Xiaotian retorted. Yi Dingdang glared. "They dare to insult Tang Jing. I won't let them go." Tang Jing patted her shoulder and comforted her. "Don't be so sensitive. They said it. I won't lose a piece of meat. It's okay." The qualifying match was decided by drawing lots. Wuxia had a total of 8 fighters, while the Western Empire had 6, Island Nation had 3, Korea had 2 and Siam had 1. There were a total of 20 fighters. After the drawing of lots, Tang Jing drew a Korean man named Pu Jintai. He was very delicate and a little effeminate. Pu Jintai glanced at him and snorted disdainfully. Then he walked to the front of the ring. There were a total of 10 matches in this qualifying match. The Martial Arts Association prepared 10 rings at once, and all the fighters walked onto the ring at once. The audience immediately cheered. Many people shouted the name of Brother Kung Fu. Tang Jing undoubtedly became the focus of attention. The other wuxia fighters all looked ashamed. This match was also their home ground, but they didn't have any sense of presence. Especially when they saw the fighters standing on the other side, their legs trembled. The Martial Arts Association gave them a death order. They must survive this qualifying match. Otherwise it would be too embarrassing. But they were obviously not on the same level as the opponent. How could they survive? Many people felt bitter in their hearts. They wished they could just give up. But in front of thousands of spectators, giving up would probably drown them in saliva. They could only brace themselves and go on. With a ding-dong, the golden gong sounded. The qualifying match began. The crowd suddenly quieted down and held their breaths. The atmosphere in the arena instantly became oppressive. People couldn't help but feel nervous. The reporters aimed their cameras at the ring, clearly recording every moment. The relevant personnel of the Martial Arts Association sat on the rostrum and watched the match condescendingly. Xianxia in particular had a sullen face. His eyes swept between the rings and finally locked onto Tang Jing. The resentment in his eyes flickered. Tang Jing, I'll let you jump around for a few days. Humph, this time you actually drew Pu Jintai. He is a taekwondo master. Even if you can win, you must suffer a big loss. Most of the audience's attention was attracted by Tang Jing's ring. After all, this Korean man didn't seem to be a showy fighter. He must have real skills. It was not so easy to win. Bang. With a muffled sound, a fighter in the ring flew out of the ring and hit the ground. He was in a sorry state. He wailed and couldn't move. This person was wuxia and his opponent was a Westerner. In just 10 moves he made his opponent lose the match. The audience couldn't help but exclaim and gasp. This Westerner was too strong. They weren't even in the same order of magnitude. At the same time, the other Westerners' fighting strength instantly erupted. This time, 4 of wuxia's 8 people were fighting Westerners. The other 2 were fighting island nation people, one was fighting Siamese Sampa, and the last one was fighting Tang Jing against Korean man Pu Jintai. So when the Westerner launched his attack, the others also launched their attacks. Shadows flew in the ring and screams sounded one after another. These screams were all from wuxia. Except for Tang Jing, the gap between the others and their opponents was too big. One of them was grabbed by the hands of a Westerner. Fists rained down on his body. That person didn't have the strength to fight back. However, the Westerner didn't stop. He attacked unscrupulously. In the end, the wuxia man fainted and lay on the ground like a pile of mud. Only then did the Westerner stop. Similar scenes played out one after another. These Westerners were high and mighty. They wantonly humiliated wuxia's contestants. Even after wuxia's contestants took the initiative to admit defeat, the Westerners didn't stop and continued to beat them up. This was like a slap to the face. It was loud and clear on the faces of all wuxia's contestants. Many of the audience's cheeks were red with shame. Don't force it. That person begged for mercy, but he still didn't stop. Yes, this is bullying at their doorstep. It's as if they really want to kill him. Xianxia looked at the ring expressionlessly. As he watched wuxia's contestants fall one by one, his heart bloomed with joy. Let the fight be even more brutal and fierce. Let all wuxia's contestants lose face and break down mentally. This was the result of his deliberate arrangement. He wanted to play with these wuxia's contestants in front of thousands of spectators and make wuxia's contestants lose face. Trash, a bunch of trash. What kind of broken martial arts is this? It's worthless and useless. You can't even take a few punches. Angry curses and taunts came from the audience. This caused some of the contestants who were still struggling to hold on to collapse instantly. They were trampled on like mud by their opponents. The island nation, Korean and Siamese contestants were slightly more restrained than the Westerners. However, everyone's attacks were very sharp. They defeated their opponents in a few moves. Therefore, in a flash the competition came to an end. Victory and defeat had already been decided on the 7 rings. These were all 7 wuxia's rings. Wuxia's contestants were all defeated, leaving only the arrogant foreigners. In the remaining 3 rings, other than Tang Jing's, there were 2 other island nation contestants and Westerners fighting. The contestants in these 2 rings were evenly matched. The fight was very exciting and it was difficult to tell who had the upper hand. The only wuxia's ring was particularly eye-catching. Everyone's gaze was focused on it. Tang Jing naturally saw that Huaxia's contestants were almost completely wiped out. Now he was the only one left. Opposite him, Pu Jintai had been waiting for an opportunity to make a move. When he saw Tang Jing was calm, he was a little nervous and did not dare to make a move rashly. Tang Jing saw that his compatriots were defeated one by one, and the audience roared, "Idiots, a bunch of idiots. Shameful, too shameful. Is this Huaxia's martial arts? I said that Huaxia's martial arts were showy but impractical. This finally proved one point. You think I believe in Huaxia's martial arts? It's really too disappointing." Many people in the audience felt their hearts bleed. The audience has lost their confidence. Then I will show them the real Huaxia's martial arts. Tang Jing moved his head and his body moved as well. Like a tornado he rolled toward Pu Jintai. Pu Jintai saw that Tang Jing had made a move. Instead of retreating he moved forward. He also roared and kicked with a long leg, bringing with it a whistling sound. Tang Jing directly ignored his opponent's counterattack. He jumped up and looked down from above. Pu Jintai also jumped up. The wind blew his hair, revealing his handsome face, which was quite attractive. Whoosh! Tang Jing simply whipped his leg at his opponent, and Pu Jintai also kicked his leg to block. Bang! With a crisp sound, Pu Jintai seemed to have been hit by a meteorite. His leg directly spurted blood, and his long leg bent at a strange angle. His body flew up like a willow catkin and flew directly out of the ring. He flew several meters away before landing heavily. His head hit the ground and he fainted. In one move, Tang Jing only used one move to defeat hundreds of taekwondo masters who were not bad in the eyes of others. Suddenly, everyone looked at him in disbelief. Chapter 361. Earth-shattering cheers and applause immediately rang out. Many people shouted the three words "Brother Kung Fu" in unison. I told you that Huaxia's martial arts are real skills and not embroidered pillows. Look at that Korean stick, he couldn't even take a single hit and was directly knocked out of the ring. Yeah, that kick was so cool. How did Brother Kung Fu train to be so powerful? The audience discussed animatedly as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Yi Dingdang clenched her fist and waved it a few times. She was so excited that her little face was red. On the other hand, Li Xiaotian was expressionless and said, "If he can't win a battle of this level, then he's not Tang Jing." Yi Dingdang snorted and did not comment. Suddenly Li Xiaotian's phone rang. She quickly took the phone and walked to a secluded place. The remaining two local rings quickly determined the winner and loser. The two island nation people and the Westerners had one win and one loss. As a result, there were 5 Westerners who advanced in this round, 2 from the island nation, 1 from Korea, and 1 from Siam. The Huaxia people who originally had the most people were only left with Tang Jing. There was only one person left and compared to the other teams it was a bit weak. However, the other teams were even more cautious of Tang Jing, because Tang Jing's battle just now was simply too sharp. It was fine if he didn't make a move, but once he made a move, it had the power of wind and thunder. He directly KO'd the opponent, leaving the opponent with no way to fight back. The Korean who had lost his teammate walked to Tang Jing's side with an unfriendly expression and said with a murderous aura, "I will avenge Pu Jintai. I will definitely defeat you. Just you wait." Tang Jing smiled and said, "I will wait for you. The key is that you have to have the ability. However, I advise you to stay away from me. Otherwise, you will immediately leave this arena. I have never shown mercy to countries that are used to being thieves. I will definitely teach these thieves a lesson." The Korean's face immediately flushed red. The other contestants even sneered. The Koreans did not have a good reputation internationally. Not only did they like to be thieves and steal other people's traditional culture for their own, but they also shamelessly applied for a World Heritage Site. Moreover, they deliberately acted shamelessly in international competitions. Their sinister little tricks were frequently used, making people's jaws drop. One could not help but admire the thickness of their skin. "I will make you pay." The Korean roared and turned around to leave. Sampa also walked over and looked at Tang Jing face to face and said, "I said that I will challenge you. If I did not fight with you in this competition, then I will challenge you alone after the competition." Tang Jing's face sank. He retracted his look of contempt and contempt. This Sampa from the beginning had come to challenge him. He was very different from the others, so he would give him the respect he deserved. "As you wish." Sampa nodded his head in satisfaction. His small and thin body walked away with his head held high. The island nation person gave Tang Jing a kind smile and said, "Congratulations to Mr. Tang Jing for winning the competition." Tang Jing coldly snorted and did not reply. These island nation people looked humble and polite on the surface, but in reality, they were incomparably arrogant. The more humble and respectful they were, the more you had to be careful because they could plot against you at any time. Seeing that Tang Zheng's expression was not good, the island nation person smiled and also left. In the end, only a few burly Westerners were left. Their faces were filled with hatred and they indignantly said, "Tang Zheng, you won this round by luck. Wait for us, we will let you know what true strength is. Moreover, we will take revenge for Kyle." The corner of Tang Zheng's mouth raised as he said, "Then we will see when the time comes." The Westerners left in a huff. Tang Zheng went backstage. Yi Dingdang excitedly rushed over and said, "You are really too strong. That move was too cool." Tang Zheng smiled, but he saw Li Xiaotian walk over with a gloomy face. "What's wrong?" Tang Zheng's heart moved, understanding that something must have happened, so he asked. Li Xiaotian glanced at Yi Dingdang and shook his head. Tang Zheng knew that it must be something secret, which was why he did not want to say it in front of Yi Dingdang. Yi Dingdang was incomparably clever and saw this point at a glance. Although she was very interested in the conversation between the two, she still tactfully said, "I will go to the bathroom. I will be back in a while." After Yi Dingdang left, Tang Zheng asked, "Can you say it now?" Li Xiaotian lowered his voice and said, "The young lord of the Rockefeller family will arrive in Beijing in a few days." The young lord of the Rockefeller family? Tang Zheng was greatly surprised. What is he doing in Beijing? Also, is there anything special about this person? Why are you making such a fuss? In the past few days, the Li Palace has carried out a detailed investigation of the Rockefeller family. Do you know where the most dazzling part of this investigation is? Li Xiaotian asked. Tang Zheng shook his head, indicating that he did not know. The most dazzling part is this young lord. His name is Louis Rockefeller. This person has shown outstanding talent since he was young. He is a genius, proficient in astronomy, geography, philosophy, and art. He is proficient in everything and is also proficient in 10 languages. Not only that, this person also loves yarn. He joined the army in his teens and has been on a real battlefield. He has experienced the baptism of a hail of bullets, and has also obtained many military medals. He is very famous in the Western Empire, and is the dream lover of many girls. Li Xiaotian introduced. Tang Zheng was flabbergasted. Was this person a monster? How could he be proficient in so many things at such a young age? He was simply a genius among geniuses. Looking at Tang Zheng's expression, the corner of Li Xiaotian's mouth raised a little and said, "Now you know that there is always someone better than you. We are usually limited to the land of wuxia, but there are such geniuses in other lands and we are not aware of them. It is truly a shame." Don't just be ashamed. What is this person's goal? Have you investigated clearly? Tang Zheng changed the topic and asked. Li Xiaotian said, "In all likelihood he is here for the martial arts assembly. This time, the other party's plan is so huge, of course there is no room for the slightest mistake, so they specially sent such a genius to supervise the battle." So what if he is here? I want to see just what kind of strength he can jump up to. Tang Zheng said disapprovingly. Don't boast too early. With a woman's sixth sense, I feel that this young lord is definitely not simple. You must not lower your guard. Li Xiaotian analyzed. Tang Zheng, look who I brought? Suddenly Yi Dingdang's surprised voice sounded from outside the door. Who did you bring? Tang Zheng asked in astonishment. He walked towards the door in large strides. Suddenly his eyes flashed with surprise. Looking at the three familiar faces, his face immediately blossomed with a smile. Why is it you guys? Why are you guys here? Haha, young Master Tang, we missed you. You left ordinary balance for several months and we haven't seen you guys. This time, we heard that you are going to participate in the martial arts assembly and fight the foreigners. Of course we would come to cheer you on. A forthright voice said. The owner of the voice was Lin Hu, who had been separated for a long time. Fire Phoenix charmingly said, Young Master Tang, since you came to Beijing, you can't forget about us old friends. We know that you are busy with your studies, so we took the initiative to come see you. Tang Zheng smiled from the bottom of his heart. Of course I want to go see you guys, but there are too many things to do. I can't get away. Of course we understand. But ordinary balance is such a big place. Young Master Tang can't always be a hands-off shopkeeper. Fire Phoenix said. Tang Zheng was really used to being a hands-off shopkeeper. Moreover, he controlled ordinary balance's matters. He wanted to have a stable backing so that his grandfather could live a carefree life in ordinary balance. Therefore, everything was handed over to Lin Hu and Fire Phoenix to manage. He rarely interfered. It's been hard on you guys. What's so hard about us? All of that was fought down by him, young Master Tang. We're just helping you guard it. were the ones who took advantage of you. Lin Hu said with a smile. Lord Envoy, Yuan has seen you again. Another tall young man was obviously more excited than the others as he looked at Tang Jing respectfully. Tang Jing patted Yuan's shoulder and said, Yuan, how have you been feeling recently? Huji and Sister Phoenix have taught me a lot of things. Yuan said. Lin Hu and Fire Phoenix immediately waved their hands and said, Yuan is too modest, how could we teach him anything? He was the one who gave us a huge shock, and understood that there was always someone better than him. Yuan is truly a martial arts genius, and in just a few months he has already reached the 9th grade of body refining stage. Tang Jing could already tell that Yuan's cultivation was at the 9th grade of qi refining and not the 9th grade of body refining, because he was a cultivator. However, Yuan had only left the 10,000 huge mountains for a few months, and he already had such a cultivation level. In fact, this was not hard to understand. In the past, although there were restrictions in the 10,000 huge mountains and the people of the Witch clan could not cultivate, their bodies had already stored a lot of energy and huge potential. When they could cultivate, all of this would explode out, which was why they had such a terrifying cultivation speed. Lord Envoy, Yuan is too stupid, he is not doing well enough. In the future, I will need Lord Envoy's guidance. Yuan said sincerely. You're already very powerful. Tang Jing said with certainty. After Yuan received the praise, he immediately revealed a brilliant smile, just like a pure child receiving the praise of an adult. Yi Dingdang and Li Xiaotian both looked at Yuan in shock. The two of them did not know Yuan before, but hearing that he had such a huge breakthrough in just a few months, it was truly inconceivable. Why did Tang Jing have so many freaks by his side? His cultivation speed was so fast that it did not seem like a normal person. Tang Jing glanced at Yi Dingdang and Li Xiaotian's suspicious expressions. Tang Jing said loudly, let's leave this place first, I'll treat you to a meal. Haha, young Master Tang has to treat us to a meal and we have to get drunk. Lin Hu agreed. Huji, don't say such big words. Young Master Tang is not drunk even after 1,000 cups. If you compete with him in drinking, you can only hide under the table. Fire Phoenix teased.